Yeah,
I can do animations.
Hey, we're live. We are now live. Artist might be the man you need to speak to about that.
Alrighty.
Hey, good evening, everybody. It is Friday, the 23rd of February, 2018. And on the panel today, we have Yudit, Israel. We have Astral, who is in Denmark. We have Jay, who's in America. We have Patricia, who's in the UK. We have Artist, who's in Germany. And our special guest is Rich, Thrive and Survive from America. Hello.
Evening.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hey. So, how is everybody? Jay is dancing. That's a good start.
Very happy to be here.
I'm in
Cool.
an unusually good mood.
That's good.
Yeah, I'll take it because they don't come very often.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Oh, you've been a little bit quieter lately, Rich.
Say again?
You've been a little bit quieter lately.
Yeah, but a couple reasons. I wanted to do the first Saturday Night Thrive last week, and my Camtasia software got messed up. I can't upload anything with it. They think it might be my computer, but I'm not into reinstalling it at the moment. I'm too busy with other stuff. But they did give me a workaround. They said I can just make the executable file and upload it then. So hopefully I'll get that maybe done by tomorrow so I can have the first episode. Who was it that the second one over from me, the gentleman with the glasses? What's your name?
Astral.
Astral. Okay, thank you.
The Astral Thief, yeah.
Yeah, he was talking before we went live about covering the Q post. What I'm going to be doing is on the Saturday Night Thrive, I'm going to be giving all the news articles that most people have missed that are directly pertaining to it, that the media, for the most part, the direct media, the mainstream media is covering up and not even showing. For example, there was two governors, I think today, if I don't want to say this for sure because I just heard it before I went live, two governors today who were indicted on some sort of child sexual abuse type of thing or child pornography. I'm not 100% sure about that, but it's little stuff like that that the media will not report on. It's happening all over the place. Like most people don't realize that there have been 4,000, I think is the number, of related pedophilia arrests in the last year, give or take a little bit of time, 4,000 and 300 major groups in the U.S. alone. And not only in the U.S., but all over the world, the UK, India, Israel, one or two other places. They've all had major pedophile rings busted.
Thailand? Which?
Yes, I think so. Thailand, yes. Thank you. And people just aren't hearing about this. You would think this would be big news. You know, they're constantly pushing everything's best. You know, we have to do this for the children. We have to protect the children this way. You know, when it's okay to push their political agenda, they'll use children. But when it comes to children being abused sexually and being just all kind of horrific satanic acts being done on them, and then even killing them, mutilating them, eating them, cannibalism. All these things are just not being reported, and you would think that would be the number one thing that they want to talk about. But of course, and I'm done with the BS. Oh, we can't handle it. That's, you know, it's the kids that are handling it, and if we can't handle it, what's wrong with us?
Exactly.
So, yeah, so I'm going to start reporting on these things that are related, and many of them are proofs themselves.
Very big proof that they're controlling everything rather than telling the truth.
Absolutely.
If it's the truth.
And it's unfortunate that the media is the one that still is the strongest link to that map we showed a couple weeks ago right here. The media is still the strongest link on there. And I think that the reason why it's hard to take them out is because they're so constitutionally protected. But it looks like from the Q post that we're going to have new legislation that is going to bring back the libel laws. So if you report something false, you can actually be sued for it, and even criminal if it causes criminal behavior, because we've had false flag reporting, and then people go out and violently react to that, and which causes different things like that. And supposedly they're going to put teeth in this law so that if you report something wrong that causes that and the violence that happens after that, you can be criminally charged, because it's your responsibility as a journalist to report truth and not lies. And what most people don't realize is it used to be the law in this country before the year 2000. I think it was in probably under Clinton. The law was changed to where the media no longer was held to a standard of truth. If they report it, they report it. They don't have to prove anything. It can be an outright lie, and there's no liability. They're sheltered from that by law, and that's all going to be repealed back evidently soon. And that's what we need, because there's still way too many people that believe whatever they hear on the Mockingbird media. It's just incredible that they still do. But yeah, that'll be a great step for the freedom of humanity, when you really do have a free press, but a press that's held to tell the truth. And if it isn't truth, they need to go back and say things like allegedly. They used to do stuff like that. Allegedly this happened. It is reported that this happened. Now they just drop all that now and say it's fact. For like a year and a half, we've had Trump-Russia collusion without one shred of evidence, and yet the media pounds it day after day after day. I don't know if in other countries, but they do here. So anyway, that's my idea to keep up on the Q stuff without directly talking about it. I'll be giving more information than if I was directly talking about it. And by the way, according to the Q posts, 20 million people are now following it regularly. That's a lot. That's getting to the point. I think when it gets to 30 million, I was trying to do the calculation in my head. I think when it gets to 30 million, that's when things explode, when you get to a certain percentage, between 1% and 2% of the population. Actually, 20 million would be probably about 7% of the population, if I'm thinking right with the math. So it's already there. It should break into the mainstream anytime now. And I'm having more and more people tell me they've heard of Q. Do you want to talk about Q? Things like, and people that you would think would not be that connected, it's starting to actually spread.
Yeah, I agree. Spreading.
Yeah. And where are you from?
I'm in Denmark, but originally from England.
And you're in Denmark now?
Yeah.
Okay.
People know about it here, but not many. I've not seen anything on the TV as of such. Not that I'm a TV watcher, but I do look to see what's going on. To just in the news and the text and what have you. And it's all bullshit, isn't it? It's all this Mockingbird that we're seeing.
Yes. But what news do you get there? The BBC?
No. I'm in Denmark, so I'm seeing Danish TV. But I mean, yeah, that's all.
Well, that's very encouraging. If people in Denmark, even if it isn't a lot, if some people in Denmark know about Q, that's extremely encouraging.
Yeah, some I say. I don't know how many. I mean, it's.
I wouldn't think any.
But I mean, we're online, aren't we? People talk to each other, so of course it's going to spread. You can look and see. Take for example, Jerome Corsi. Sorry. Look at the chat there. People from all over the world: Australia, New Zealand, Norway, everywhere, man. They're from everywhere. So if they're on that channel from all over the world, think about other channels. They're also all over the world. So it is spreading, which is only a good thing. Because this Mockingbird is just a pile of crap.
Yeah, and it's the Mockingbird media is being overrun big time by us, and they're starting. If you haven't noticed, they're starting to directly come after anybody that's not them, and try to label us as fake news, and it can be dangerous to listen to us. Different things like that. That's slowly starting to creep into their narrative as well. Which is a good thing. That means they're feeling the heat.
People like you spreading it as well, Rich.
Well, the reason why I even brought it up after I was certain that it was true was to do just that. I figured my duty wasn't to decode it necessarily at all. I'll leave that to brighter minds than mine and people that have more time to research and do things like that. I don't necessarily like to research things online unless I'm very interested myself. And plus, there's that aspect of self-depressing yourself by looking at all this deep, dark stuff and all the connections and all the spider webs. I'd rather somebody else go down that rabbit hole and report on it. But I figured my job is just same thing with Flat Earth. With Flat Earth, well, more with Flat Earth, but with Flat Earth, the idea was to not only spread the word, but also to help provide some proofs, everyday proofs for people that can go out and do it themselves. With QAnon, I'll let the other people do the digging and come up with the meanings of different things and the connections. And as we were talking earlier, I mean, there's some brilliant people doing this stuff. Unbelievable, brilliant people. I just can't believe the things that people can decipher and things like that. So me awakening people is what I figure my job is, or at least part of my job as a patriot. And also now I'm trying to shift, instead of waking people up with it, like I said, bringing news that correlates to it without directly speaking to it. That way, people who, if they are falling for the propaganda against Q, I won't be mentioning Q directly. I'll just be bringing the headlines that show that Q is true and happening. And at some point, they're going to make a connection that, hey, something's going on here under the scene. And before they know it, they'll run into somebody that talks about Q, and it'll be the same stuff. So it's a way to get them to come to the party, so to speak, without having them throw up, their blinders. No, I don't want to hear that. So that's the idea behind Saturday Night Thrive, along with some other things too.
Rich, I think we need a line phone or line connection to the people who want to share information with you, and from all over the world. So where they can, who is the person they can speak with them and share with them the information. You see, when children missing, so we should know about them everywhere in the world. It's happened everywhere. So we don't have a connection with these people. We need a line, a phone, that if people want to bring this SOS information to us, they have a phone connection. You see, right now we are not together in this. We need to I was thinking about this last day. If a woman have a problem missing a child, or I don't know, so who she can talk except the system today? You see?
Yeah, and yes, and chances are the system may have had something to do in their disappearance in the first place. That's what's so sick about all of it. At least here in this country, it's the system that has been. They've set up all these different things, these child protective services, and they take the children out of the house. And when they know it's a situation where they're never going back to the parent for whatever reason, these kids just disappear. And
so what is the solution for these people, the parents, who they can talk to?
I don't think they have one right now, unfortunately.
Oh, that's what I mean. It's sad. We need to create something like this. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Yudit, it goes much deeper than that. Even the kids, if they could say anything, they can't say anything because they're afraid to say something. I think it's got so bad that I'm sad to say, but it's just a terrible situation that things are in. Really, I feel like that's how it is.
We need a phone call. We need a phone to give to everybody. If you are in danger from the system, and you have information to share with us, and you need help, and they need a phone call. They need somebody to talk with. Right now, we don't have. not the flat art, not for the children. No, we don't have a connection all together. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good idea, but I don't think for the children that there's solutions we can offer them. But are you talking about just having somebody they can talk to and get
If
their...
I think about this, if I know about information under the ground, something happened there, and I want to share with somebody this information. It's SOS. Who I can talk to? Nobody.
Ah.
Right now, nobody who I can call and share this information that something terrible happened right now. Nobody. And we need this phone to give to the people that they know they have address to share this information with. See what I mean?
Yes,
You,
I get it totally.
No house.
you could do it free on Facebook, couldn't you? You could do a Facebook group where people can upload their videos to Facebook.
Yeah, we need to do something for all the people around over the world. We need to do something.
Can I say something, Yudit? I know here in Denmark that there is like a kind of a child line. I think also they have in England, there's like a child line, you know, that kids that are not having a good time at home or that are having bad time at, you know, being bullied and, you know, those kind of things. How deep it goes, I don't know. Who controls it? Well, obviously it's the government, and how much we trust them, I daren't say, you know, but we're putting the children's, you know, lives are in the hands basically of the government. You know, we don't even have control of our own kids anymore because, yeah, we're practically losing it. You know, everything is just being taken away from us.
Yes.
Right, they're being pulling the rug from under our feet, like more or less. But I know that there are telephone lines that kids can call if they're in danger or if they're having problems wherever, bullying, teachers, parents, other people, pedophiles, and all this, you know, shit. Yeah, they can get help, but I understand what you mean. Something more specific, maybe.
Yeah, I can tell you with what's set up here, you're going to get a dead end. You might get somebody to say, "Oh, we comfort you and whatever," but the very authorities they would send, let's say the FBI, they're the ones behind all this. It's nuts. They're helping facilitate it. I'll be right back. I need to get a pen so I can take notes on this stuff. I want to write down Yudit's idea and see if I can come up with some ideas myself with that. Be right back.
Oh, that's brilliant. Okay. Yeah, thanks for that, Yudit. In this harsh time. Yeah, I have to say, Astral.
Yes,
I
we
can
don't need
see
to have any silence. I was just wondering where Jay was because I would have loved to have a little chat with Jay about pyramid, meditate. Because I saw a little clip today about pira is fire, of course, fire in the middle. So meditation, if you think about a triangle, a little fire in the middle, pyramid.
Yeah.
Now, you know, you like talking about words, etymology and everything. I've not traveled the world, but I've traveled many places and I know quite a few languages, right? These words, they're all interconnected. Like I mean, it's like, this is what started me off, I think, the words. Now, there was a guy, he's talking about pyramid, meditate, they're interrelated, and they are. When I take it from the aspect of a Danish word, pyramid, meditate, right? I can see that. Then you've got bow and arrow, a bow, an arrow, right? A bow is bow. You spell bow like bow, don't you? Bow, bow.
Exactly.
You have steenbok. Steenbok is Capricorn in Danish. Steenbok, a stone bow. A stone bow. You've got a stone bow.
Beautiful, man. Yeah.
And an arrow going through a bow and arrow. We have this word in Denmark called I'm saying it's a circle with a line through it. That's the arrow through the O. I don't know why they have it, because it's not necessary. I think many moons ago, they had also some sort of similar thing with the English language, but they did away with it, and we just use the O now. We don't have all these you know. Danish is probably one of the hardest languages in the world to learn. Believe me. You can ask anybody. Right? But it's all these words, they're all interconnected. And I love that, especially about the pyramid, the fire within, the fire in the middle, you know, that's what it means. So go on, Jay, I'll let you have a little dig on that, please.
No, you were the shovel, and that's awesome. What you just said was great. I teach that in ballet. I teach that we have medullary pyramids in our head, and that our head is a point of ascension, and that all the fiery energies, all the Christ consciousness is the oils in your tetrahedron, in your dome. So these pirates, pyros, like pyramid, they were men of fire. They were the men of Prometheus, one of the moons of your electric god Saturn. They were pretending or standing in the place of an entity known for a dark kind of a fire, these pirates. Sir Francis Drake, the dragons breathe fire, Draco constellation. So even our stars are aligned with fire. They're all full of light. They never get turned off. We all have this fire in our solar plexus. And you just actually gave me the idea of a furnace. Like when you're meditating, your stomach is like a furnace. And the fire is all the sexual energy that you contain, so that when you breathe and you control it, and you bring it all the way to your temple or to your actual medullary pyramids, it's only natural that you will go up into the mid-heavens. Hence why all this crazy stuff with pedophilia and abuse, it's ritualistic, and it's designed to suck out all of our fires. Most of our fires are in the sacrum region, which is why, unfortunately, the way they harm children is in the lower areas like the sacrum. It's sacred. And the fiery energies of consciousness, like what Astral just beautifully said, it's all in the furnace, in your solar plexus. And I think that if we're well versed in our body parts and symbolism, it'll help us to awaken ourselves and get through the depression of all the bad news. Like what Thrive and Survive said, it can be depressing, you know, when you're researching. Like when I first researched, I was getting to the Illuminati, I was getting into satanic stuff, and I was like, oh my God. And then I went out and I told everything, and it was just too dark. And I was getting mad, like, why don't people care about this stuff? It is heavy. But there's poetry that we can look into, and fire is a very big one. And when you said bow, I teach in ballet that we have an elbow, and so that when you bend your arm, you want to imagine that you are the archer of Sagittarius. Hence, we're walking on a sagittal plane. So there's something happening with these words that we can tap into to, I think, relieve the burden of horrible news and horrible misguided lies and repression. So we have to know that all the king's horses and all the king's men, that would be Sagittarius in your Humpty Dumpty story. Half man and half horsepower. We all have horsepower. So yeah, man, awesome one. So I leave it open.
Hey, I want to make a connection. It's a big twist on what you said. It's not the same thing, but I just learned this week that cannabis in the Hebrew is in the Bible. It's cannabism, Kaneh and then BOSM. And the little bit of research I've gotten into that so far is when it talked about, in Deuteronomy, it talks about that's part of the oil that goes into making the temple holy, where they anoint the anointing oil. Cannabis oil is one of the ones they used. But also, apparently, and I don't want to say this dogmatically yet, but whenever you read, you shall make an offering made by fire, that had to do with cannabis oil, not with what we think today as an offering made by fire. So there's some interesting stuff there. No wonder they banned it. I mean, not only does it cure everything and you know, that's the Patriots actually plant right there. Because it gets rid of all the big monopolies with oil, with paper, the lumber industry, the pharmaceutical industry. It tears down so much. And this is why they've gotten rid of it.
Hey,
But
Wow.
going back at least 20 years, right? I was researching cannabis at least 20 odd years ago. It had over 700 good uses. And I'm talking 20 odd years ago, man.
yeah, I'm sure it's in the thousands now.
At least.
If I could tell you, Mr. Thrive and Survive, yeah, it's very important to know what cannabis is, because your Vatican Church, Vatican comes from Vatica. Vatica was an herb the East Indians smoked to open their third eye, because your thalamus in your brain, your optic thalamus, is actually the receiver of the flower. And what marijuana does, or Mary Jane or Isis or Venus or whatever you want to call her, what she does when you smoke it, we have copper in the brain. So in energy, Venus rules this. You're bringing the sacred feminine. Hence why we see Jesus with goddesses when he resurrects. There's a woman there. But it's metaphors for air. Women are seen as air in ballet, the spirits, right? So Vatica or cannabis, or Anubis of Egypt. Where are these things? They take you to a dimension that can relieve you of this grounded world of earth and take you to Shiva, which can undo mind control. And then also in the Bible, I believe it's called calamus. Santos talks about what marijuana is. It's called sweet calamus or cannabis, the same word. Of course, they were all smoking and, even they drank beer in Samaria in ancient times. It was all, good and healthy organic stuff. It's not that it's not that it's bad. It's just that now they're using it to get you corporatized, a dead body. The whole maritime admiralty law, right? Using the water, the birthing energy of the sacred feminine. If we know the symbols of these goddesses and gods and realize that we are them too, like we're the hero. You're Troy, you're Achilles, you're Athena, you're Zeus. It just depends on what you do with the energy. We have control. We just don't know that we have it.
If you can go back just for a second, what's the connection with copper?
Copper is an energy ruled by the orb Venus.
Okay. Now, did you make a connection between copper in the brain and cannabis?
Yeah, copper is in your brain. And so when you smoke weed, you're bringing energies to your head, which is electric. So when I meditate, for example, and when I smoke the beautiful goddess energy, it actually heightens your cannabinoid. Pardon me. Yeah, there we go. You actually have cannabinoids in your brain. They're a part of your brain. Hence, they receive cannabis. Yeah. They receive your cannabis. So what's happening is it's literally creating like a spark or a fire. So when you smoke the smoke, it goes into your head, has cerebral spinal fluid, smoke, heat, water, do the math, right?
An offering by fire.
Exactly. So as you're breathing heavier and heavier, you start to tingle more. My head tingles more, my forehead vibrates. I get little shocking feelings in my finger more when I smoke marijuana and meditate. For sure. You're supposed to smoke weed and then meditate, really, but it's good to experience everything and have a balance. So yeah, it's totally about higher consciousness, man. Why are we getting high?
Yeah.
We want to leave pain, or we want to experience something beautiful. It's not about addiction. That was something Jesuit-like, maybe.
Yeah, but that's the interesting thing about marijuana.
Came when they introduced tobacco. Addiction came when they introduced alcohol. That's when addiction came, when they introduced McDonald's and fucking whatever else.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'd like to say something about the balance, about the triangle in our head. So the eye connect to the ears. So the balance, it's in our ears. Yes,
Yeah.
Jerry?
Yes, absolutely.
Very good. Yep. Totally. Yeah. Earth has ear in it.
I couldn't get my button off. I couldn't get the button off. You were going to say something, Rich.
I'm not sure I want to go down a certain path I'm thinking about yet. Actually, you know what? I will. I will. Pardon me just a moment. I'll be right back. I need it. This is a visual presentation, so just a minute. I wasn't expecting to do this, so it'll take me about
It's
45 seconds. I'll be right back.
I'll just play a little tune then in the meantime. May I do that?
Go on, Astral.
I'm not playing a tune. I'm just gonna doodle. I
Oh,
call it
okay. That's
doodling.
Oh,
You know, if you
wow.
get a pencil and you doodle, I do that with like music. All right. So anyway,
when you before you start doodling,
yeah.
I show you this just to make people aware of it again, because I'm surprised a lot of people never know about propolis. It's a natural antibiotic, kills cancer cells. It helps rheumatic arthritis, herpes, yeast infections. It helps to calm a cold. And these are some ointments and pills and liquid you can put on wounds when you are hurt. So just an extra to point out there. This is also very, very good for your health. It's extracted from the beehive and it's a natural antibiotic. So. And it's not that expensive.
No, it's funny that you mentioned and showed that today, because I was in my store and I saw a woman. She bought some like throat lozenges, and I said to her, next time, forget about buying those. Get yourself some bee propolis.
Yeah.
Because it'll do more than that. And she was like, why? I said, because for one, you can keep for years and years and years and years eating those sweets for a sore throat. You'll just keep having a sore throat. That's all it does, And then she's like, oh, thank you. So anyway, sorry, go on, Rich.
Oh, do you want to play your little tune then?
Yeah, play your tune, Astral.
Introduction into Rich's.
Yeah, musical introduction.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm on the spot now. It's going to sound good. Okay, I'll finish there.
Okay.
Yay!
Bravo.
Yeah.
Bravo.
Yes, Rich. We can't hear you now.
Rich, we can't hear you at the moment. No, still not. Okay, hang on.
Live research.
We always have a bit of technical, eh? That's our thing for some reason.
Don't hear you.
No, we still can't hear you. Can you hear us? Put your thumbs up when you can hear us. Okay, but we can't hear you at the moment.
Maybe come and go again.
No, still
No.
not. Wow.
Do you think that you have to rejoin Rich and that'll sort it out?
See, he can hear us.
Yeah, he can. I think he thinks it's the headphones.
Yeah, something wrong with the headphones. Are they messing with the YouTube again for some reason? When people start telling the truth, they want to silence them. Maybe. I don't know. Just an idea.
He's going to come back.
He's going to come back. Okay, cool.
Oh.
Yeah, just when it gets interesting, the technical.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you can play another tune, Astral, if you want to.
Come on, Astral.
Astral.
Calling Richard. Richard.
Oh, that's funny.
What the flat.
The sirens.
What the flat.
It's from the VM World Cup.
That's cool, man.
It plays tunes. Or it should do.
Oh.
You get the idea.
It almost
yeah.
sounded like he was saying, ole, 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 we are dancers.
But
Almost
what's funny is, you know, like Ole is also Leo for lion, the cat, and en français is Patricia for the constellation Leo, like leotard. Can we all say we're dancers quickly?
yeah.
We're dancers.
Count it
Come
off.
on, yes.
Count it off.
We're dancers.
1, 2, 3. We
We
are
are
dancers.
Dancers. Hey, we're getting better at doing it as well.
Yeah. One of these days it will be perfectly in sync.
He's back.
He's back.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yay!
Perfectly. Perfect.
I think it's actually the headphone. One of the buttons mutes it.
Okay.
Because when I picked it up, I think I hit it. I didn't know. This is one of those gamer things. It's got like 9 buttons.
Don't touch it, Rich.
What's that?
Don't touch it, Rich. Don't touch the headphones.
Yeah. Okay. I was just, there's a little dial too. I can dial it up or down. I got to give you a little bit of a preview of before I show you this stuff. This is all health stuff related.
Oh, that's with the ginseng in it.
Where's that coming from?
Where's what coming from?
That music.
China?
I'm hearing
There's no
Mexican
music?
music. No music. Wow.
No. There's no music.
I was hearing loud Mexican music in my ear.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow. There
not-
wasn't
not-
any. That's strange.
And I only have Outlook open, nothing else. How is that even possible?
Wow. So they are sending some kind of music through the airways that you catch up with your headphone.
I wish you could hear it. I mean, it was loud.
That's strange.
That's the second time. I thought somebody was playing it the first time. I don't know. Anyway, let's try again.
Can you
If I do this, that means I'm up to here with music and I can't hear anything, and I'll need to fix it
Okay.
because I couldn't hear you guys when it was going. That's how loud it was.
I never heard
All
that
right.
before. That's very strange. Yeah. But
Do
go
you
ahead,
think
man.
that playing a bit of Astral just a minute ago by accident on the live feed or something?
No, that wasn't Mexican.
This was definitely Mexican.
No.
It has that Mexican, whatever it is, beat and everything.
Oh yeah. No, that wasn't it.
Okay.
No, your
So-
thing.
As you may or may not know, I've had a lot of medical problems that I should not have had at my age. I'm 57 now, and I've had a lot of medical issues actually since my 30s. And a lot of it didn't make sense. For example, I had a heart attack, massive heart attack in 2015. There is no history of heart attacks in my family at all. And I didn't have any of the factors. I don't have high blood pressure. I did have high cholesterol, what they say is high, but not horrible. It's acceptable cholesterol before 1990, like 210, 215, nothing major. So anyway, I got to speaking to somebody, and that's the part I can't get deep into right now because a lot of holistic people are ending up dead. And it appears this person, I'm going to call it a he, but just know that that gender may or not be correct. This person, he had me go through my entire history with all my medical stuff. And he didn't understand why all of a sudden in the mid to late 1980s, I was starting to have some weird issues. For example, and that I was 27 then. Let me see. Yeah, 27 then. I had pneumonia really bad. And I also had a problem with, I thought it was appendicitis. I actually went to the emergency hospital and all the symptoms of appendicitis, but I just did not have appendicitis. And that pain to this day is still with me. It's very minor, but I still feel it. If I'm going to have any kind of gastro upset, like if I'm going to have a bad bout with gas or diarrhea, something like that, this will start hurting before that happens. It's like a prelude. I know it's coming. Sort of like people with auras and migraines. That's another thing I get, migraines. Long story short, it would take me probably 30 minutes to go through all the medical problems I have. And this person pretty much has done a lot of research on nanoparticles. I'm sure you guys have talked about this on one of your shows before, how they have these little nano robots that they've been putting in inoculations. Now they're putting it in Pepsi and Coke products. Anyway, these little particles, they're activated by microwave radiation, and they've been doing this a lot longer than we've known. They've been doing this since the 1960s at least. But now they're publicly getting the public, trying to get the public to get all these nanoparticles into them. In fact, the government has mandated that Pepsi, for example, increase their nanoparticles by a certain percent. They're putting it in municipal water supplies. Milwaukee's one of them. On the West Coast, I think it's either Portland or Seattle. They've got it in their water where they're actually physically adding these nanoparticles. And these nanoparticles are activated by microwave radiation. And at first I was like, well, you know, I have, is that microwave oven? And this person said, no, your microwave oven is actually an excellent Faraday cage. Nothing leaks out of it. Nothing gets in and nothing leaks out. They built that very well. But this right here, that activates it. And so does Wi-Fi and different things like that. It's microwave radiation that's in there. So these nanobots, they're like computer programs. They have different things. Some may cause the degenerative disease like Alzheimer's or something like that, Parkinson's. Although that's caused by other things, heavy metals and different things like that. These nano robots, when activated, they go in and they go to certain cells and they destroy those cells, or they modify the cells so that they're no longer good. All right, with all that being said, how did I get so many nanoparticles in me by the age of 27? Well, when I was in the military from 1980 to 1984, I estimate that I was giving somewhere between 40 and 50 inoculations. We used to actually line up and people would stand either side of you. You would take a step forward and they would go, doof, doof. They would hit you with inoculations. You take another step and the next two people, doof, doof, they'd hit you. And you just went down a line. And this was repeated over and over again. It started in boot camp. And if we went to, let's say, Africa, they claim, oh, there's this, that, and the other disease. You got hit again, and you were given quinine and God knows what. Now, a friend of mine who was in the military at the exact same time, he was on the exact same ship. We went in the buddy program together. I don't have my inoculation card. I should get it. So I asked him about his. He said, Rich, I have to unfold mine. That's how many inoculations are on there. So we were given all this stuff. And this person, he said, even possibly Agent Orange I was injected with. People in the 1960s and 70s in particular were injected with that, little parts of it. And even around 1980 is when they discontinued it, but that's when I went in. So I may or may not have that. So the bottom line there is, without going into major detail about the nanoparticles and the inoculations, is the fact that they explain every one of my health issues. It also explains why I'm the first person ever in my family, and I'm talking both sides of my family. I can't find anybody who had a heart attack. It's just the way it is. So, and then I had one at 54 years old. So go figure. So this person says they're pretty convinced it's the nanoparticles and some other stuff, but that's the main deal. So one of the things I have right now is this shoulder right here. I've got a rotator cuff tendon tear, and it is killing me constantly. Now, I recently got off years of having to take Vicodin and other narcotics for the pain. So marijuana has helped greatly with that. So how do I get rid of these nanoparticles, and how do I restore myself back to the way I was? It comes down to a bunch of mostly Eastern medicine. You can see these are directly from the East. I believe they are anyway. So anyway, I've got a ton of stuff. This box is filled with stuff like this, and I don't know if you can see this Ionic C. Oh, that's backwards, isn't it? It's mirroring it. Interesting. Anyway, I don't know if I can reverse the mirror, but it says Ionic C, Shango Coral Mineral Complex, Eucamia extract, and this right here cardio for life. This is supposed to help
Yeah.
so I can get off all my cardio meds. So I don't have to, I hate taking blood thinners and I hate taking cholesterol medicine. I won't take cholesterol medicine anymore. I don't care if I die from cholesterol, too bad. It messes with your brain so you can't even think of what you were doing 2 seconds ago. So anyway, I'm probably going to report on that. Now, I had reported that I was taking something called Carbon 60, which is relatively new, extremely expensive, and it is absolutely doing nothing for me except for it does enhance the dreams. Big deal. It was $200 for 8 ounces. I'm not going to pay $200 to have enhanced dreams. So then I found out, that product through a YouTube channel called You Are Free TV. It's an excellent channel. She does an excellent job. She covers QAnon quite well, very well actually, and it's always a pleasant experience listening to her videos. So you may want to write that down. That channel, You Are Free TV, and she's the one that first introduced Carbon 60 to my mind. Anyway, she said it's one of the technologies that they've been trying to cover up because it does so many things. They gave it to rats, and they kept giving more and more and more, trying to find a lethal dose to rats. They could not find a lethal dose. The side effect for the rats was they live 90% longer. So if you translate that to human life, that would be adding an additional 60 years to our life. So I get this product and it does nothing for my pain. And I'm highly disappointed. But then she just did a video 2 days ago where she stated that there was a bad batch from the company that I bought from, of course. And so I'm hoping that's what it is, because I have a lot of hope for that product because a lot of other people swear by it. In the meantime, my sons do colloidal silver gold, which is still, there's no doubt about it, it's the best colloidal silver you can get in the world. But some of the stuff that she has or he has that they're going to give me is something called silver ozone. And what that is that's Ag2O3, I think is the chemical composition for it. It's a third oxygen, so it's ozone. And what that does is, imagine you're trying to kill in your body a cell that is the size of a marble, and you inject something like colloidal silver into the system, but the molecule is larger than the marble, so it can't completely cover the marble, because once the good silver hits another silver, it keeps getting bigger and bigger, and it can never, imagine circles. The marble being a circle and then a beach ball coming to cover the marble. It just can't happen. But if you make a BB, a little teeny BB, like in a BB gun, and you put that in your system to cover the marble, it can cover the marble because it's smaller. Hopefully that makes sense. It's kind of hard to explain this stuff. The bottom line is silver ozone is a nanoparticle, very small. So it can surround any bad stuff and get rid of it. Not that colloidal silver is bad, but this is an additional step for people that have viruses and things like that, where the size of the actual particle itself is smaller. Now, colloidal silver works against AIDS, but silver ozone is much more effective, and that's because it's smaller in that case. Now, I wouldn't use silver ozone for what I use colloidal silver for every day, which keeps me off antibiotics, but that's a different story. But the bottom line there is my son is actually going to produce that much cheaper and much higher quality than even the one I got, and I'm going to try that and see if that works. So I'm going to be reporting on all this medical stuff. Now, before I start this, I've decided I need to do a colon cleanse, a liver cleanse, and a kidney cleanse, because I want to get all the bad stuff out of my system and also allow my system to absorb all the good stuff. And if it's clogged with bad stuff first, it isn't going to happen. That's why I didn't dive right in and start taking this stuff, because I know although it may work, and he didn't tell me to do this cleanse or whatever. I know from the one degree I do have is in medicine. It's a low-level degree, but I have that degree. I know better than to try to do stuff without a cleanse first. It just doesn't work. Now, modern medicine won't talk about that. But something as simple as a coffee enema, those type of things, these were 1930s, 1940s technology that was brilliant, and it worked. And of course, there wasn't a lot of money in coffee enemas, so that disappeared from the medical scene. But you talk about curing a lot of diseases, even cancer. A good colon cleanse can do this. Now, nothing I say should be taken as a cure or anything like that. It's a shame we even have to say this stuff, isn't it? Here you have CNN can come on and lie all day, and we can be hauled off to jail for saying apricots cure cancer or something. There's a specific example in the United States where a guy who did say that, he said he cured his own cancer using apricot seeds, and he spent the next 7 years, I believe, in jail. Interesting, huh? For curing his own disease. So I'm not going to, eventually, when this stuff works, I'll get the person on to talk about this directly.
Oh, that's great that you do that. Yeah, but you just giving information that people can indeed check some things that are good for them, and indeed, yeah,
Yes,
it's just just like I showed propolis, it's just an helping hand for people to see into it. Yeah.
Now, another thing I'm going to be reporting on, this person that was in the Navy with me, he's got a son who's 19 years old now, and he has seizures all the time.
Oh.
And he's been on all kind of different drugs, and of course the body gets acclimated to the drugs, plus there's side effects, and they have to keep switching to stronger or different drugs.
Yeah.
One of the other things that happens is he has a soft tissue, I don't want to say tumor, but a soft tissue growth that happens behind his ear, inside his head. And 5 years ago, they actually opened him up to get rid of that soft tissue. And there's no reason for that. I think that soft tissue growth is the brain trying to protect itself against these seizures. So it's probably coming from that part of the brain, and it's a protective mechanism that the brain is doing. They want to open him up again.
Makes sense, indeed, makes sense. Also, did you hear about Jesse Ventura, his wife, also had seizures? And they tried all kinds of medicine. And that's why also Jesse Ventura didn't run for president. He really wanted to, but yeah, he had his wife had almost 2 seizures a day. So that was...
Who?
Or Jesse Ventura, that wrestler and also governor. And it was so important that... he attended to his wife, so that's why he didn't do the election. He had to take care of his wife. That's indeed more important.
I wish he would have ran. I wish he would have ran for election. I would have voted for him. He's another Ron Paul.
Me too, if I was an American citizen.
Yes. But the bottom.
So what he said, his wife had seizures, and actually all kinds of medication made her health actually decrease. Then he used those marijuana drops. He got them. And the seizures were gone in, I think, a month.
Yes.
And now she's seizure-free and healthy again. So
that's where I'm going with this.
And he has actually a marijuana manifesto on his site that he tells about legalizing marijuana and get it more known in the general public.
Yes, marijuana, and it could even be just the CBD oil, which is legal everywhere, is the one that works with seizures. Now,
it's not legal everywhere, Rich. Sorry to interrupt.
CBD oil?
Yeah,
oh, I'm sorry. In all 50 states, it's legal. I'm sorry. I shouldn't say that. I forget.
They have been looking into it here in Denmark because I know so many people that would benefit. I mean, immediately from that. Immediately.
Yep.
But yet they're saying, "Oh, we're still doing tests and we're still trying it out to see if it's dangerous or not for the people." I mean, what the?
It's been it's been around for
real. We know. We're not.
It's been a recorded history for 6,000 years. How much more testing do you need to do? Nobody's died from marijuana product yet. Period.
No.
You know, they'll ban that, and yet they'll allow cigarettes all day long.
Yeah, allow drinking. That costs a lot of more.
Yeah,
traffic. That's
absolutely.
That's
anything that'll kill you off, that's legal.
Yeah. That almost, it looks like that, yeah.
So anyway, he is going to, I talked to him yesterday. I didn't even know about this. I knew about the seizures, but I thought they were gone. But the CBD oil is, I believe, at least in 49 states here, legal. Now, the CBD oil, you can drink it all day. You're not going to get high from it. There's no THC in it. There's a difference. It's from the same plant, but it's a different part of the plant. Every research I've done, and in fact, I know God is leading this charge with this for him, because all of a sudden in the last 3 days, I've come across videos where they're talking about CBD oil and getting discounts if you're in the military, or were. He was in the military, and seizures. I heard a story 2 days ago, the day before he called, where a person was getting multiple seizures every single day, and he started taking CBD oil, and now he gets 1 seizure a month, and it's mild. And this is the same thing where all the drugs have never done anything. I mean, they do for a little bit. They'll help a little bit. For example, his name is Noah. His son's name is Noah. And the drugs that they give him will help the seizures for a little bit. But he's totally disabled. He can't work. He's never worked a job. He just can't. Social Security, believe it or not, the same thing I went through with that. Here's a kid who has these seizures every single day, multiple seizures, bad ones. And it took 2 years for Social Security to say, yeah, he's disabled. Isn't that nuts? So, and yet you have my father, who was an alcoholic. He got approved the same month. It's who you know. He knew a judge. And he got disabled because he said he had bad nerves. Yeah, if he'd had bad nerves if he couldn't get a drink. But yeah, alcohol, it's legal everywhere. Smoking's legal everywhere. You know, this pretense where, oh, you have to be 21 to buy it. Please. That's absolute 100% proof that anybody can get anything they want at any time if they want it.
Yeah.
Indeed,
if you look at the traffic-related deaths to alcohol, there are a lot. And if you look at traffic deaths related to marijuana, there's none. So
none. Well, you know, marijuana smokers, they drive slower.
Yeah, indeed. I heard that. Yeah, that they drive slower, actually. Yeah, so they are being more careful, probably.
Yeah.
You get paranoid.
The guy didn't get arrested because he was driving too fast or he crashed into something. He got arrested and stopped because he was driving too slow and too carefully.
I don't know, actually, if there is a minimum speed limit. A minimum.
There is here.
A maximum? Oh, there's a minimum. Okay.
Well, they say if you're driving 15 miles per hour under the limit, you're supposed to use your blinkers. But you can actually get ticketed for driving too slow. But that's a rarity. Yeah. Some states. It depends on what state.
Okay.
Just another revenue grabber.
Yeah.
Well, we're always finding that everything is the wrong way round. I was trying to explain about that guy who's propaganda, whatever he is. I've been looking at his posts, and the P900 is not telling. Well, the P900 tells you how far it is, and Google's lying. That they say, oh, this is 37,000 feet away, which is 7 miles, and it's not. It's a couple of miles through the camera, and that chemtrails aren't very big planes, but they're small planes, and because they've made you think that they're miles away, you think you're looking at a big plane up there spraying, but the plane was never that far away, and they're small planes.
Yes, when I did the first balloon launch, it was on a chemtrail day, and I was surprised because the altitude, I think, was somewhere between 5,000 and 10,000 feet when it hit it, because it ruined the camera. Then it was all chemicaled up. We had sprayed the lenses so that they would not fog up. They were tested in a freezer, refrigerator, all kind of tests with moisture. It just would not hold moisture. We had this good stuff. It goes right through that first cloud, which was obviously a chemtrail, and the rest of the video was all blurry because it was a chemical. It wasn't water. But it was at a low altitude. That's what shocked me about it. It really was low altitude when it happened. So
so this guy's saying that they're lying. So Google's saying it's, say, 17 miles. It's not. It's about 8 miles.
Yeah. So if you, I would trust a P900 long before I trust Google.
Miles up. They're only flying a couple of miles up. And then he produced this video of a plane landing, and for half of it, the car or the truck was going faster than the plane on the tarmac as it's landing. So they've got everything is going much faster than it is, and it isn't. And then he showed this video of a fighter jet doing about 500 miles an hour. It did look quite crazy to think that we'd be flying that fast, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, this is really, really fast. Like, we would notice it, I think. You know, it's not that you don't notice flying. It's just that this is really fast. Yeah, they're just things. And so he's saying they're not flying as fast, they're not flying as high, and the chemtrails are really low. And it's like, oh no.
My understanding is you have to call it by its correct term, not chemtrails. If you use what it's really called, something industrial, I don't know what I can't remember the acronym, but if you use that with any kind of court case or senators or congressmen, anybody that's in legislative branches, they will recognize that term. But if you go to like there's a lot of people that organize these town hall meetings where you go and talk to your local congressperson or whatever, and you bring up chemtrails, they're like, I never heard of it, don't know what you're talking about. That's their escape. But if you use the real term, which I can't remember, unfortunately, right now, maybe somebody in the chat will know what it is. But there's a 3-letter acronym for what it really is. And the middle one, I think, is I for industrial. Then they'll recognize it. Oh, yeah, that's under this or whatever, and it's being regulated under that. All of a sudden, they open up. But it's like their little secret way of getting away from talking about it because they don't recognize that term, chemtrails. It's crazy, but I'll have to do some research and find it if nobody remembers what that is or knows what it is. But that's how deep that conspiracy goes, where they've actually got it so they have a plausible deniability that they're not held accountable for because you're using the term chemtrails and that's not what they call it.
Mm.
Oh,
yeah. Well, every day I'm learning something.
Speaking of just as a side note, something I've been thinking about. You know how they claim that the atmosphere is moving with the Earth, and this is why planes don't have to adjust for anything. And this goes back to the moon landing hoax. I don't know if you know this, but they had many tries at attempts at landing the lunar module on the Earth. And they couldn't do it, not one time. They always had to eject out the top. And that was with an atmosphere that's supposedly moving with the Earth and helping them. And they couldn't land it. So they never had one successful landing of the lunar module on Earth. So then they launch and go to the moon, supposedly. And think about this. Not only is the moon spinning on its axis, according to NASA, it's only 10 miles per hour because that's how it gets locked to us. But you remember how fast that shadow moved across the United States from, what was it, a 3-hour eclipse or whatever? It covered 2,000 miles or whatever. So it's almost 1,000 miles per hour. It's moving across the shadow. So that's how fast the moon is moving through space. And yet there's no atmosphere to help guide the lunar module down. So the moon itself is moving independently of this up here, the lunar module coming down at nearly 1,000 miles per hour. And yet when you see all the footage, it's all nice and steady underneath of it. He's not zooming along sideways at 800 miles per hour to keep up with it. And there is no atmosphere to keep it. So I don't know how people, if you understand what I'm saying, I don't know how people can get around that fact that there's absolutely no way they were landed on the moon.
Rich, I noticed something with this Elon X car when they're showing you the exhaust out the back. The exhausts are kind of moving, but the camera isn't. If the camera was attached to that thing, then it would be bubbling up and down just like the exhaust is, because it's part of the structure that's moving really fast, supposedly, and it would be just wobbling. And the camera that you're watching.
Wait a minute. You mean that they're showing exhaust coming out of the back of the car up there?
No, it was when the rocket was going up. They were showing you how hot the exhausts were on the back of the rocket, except the camera they used was completely fixed, watching what it's supposed to be attached to wobbling around. But the camera would be wobbling around. The camera didn't move at all.
And look, the whole thing with that SpaceX stuff is if you still believe it's real after that, I don't think there's hope for you. I really don't. It's that bad. I mean, what do you have to? You have to be clubbed in the head with a bat, and written on the bat is it's fake. I just don't get it. How can people be so stupid?
Rich, that what you were saying before about the launches and everything, right? How many times did it take the Wright brothers to get that plane to fly in the air?
Yes.
Many times, right?
Yes.
before they succeeded. Hey, we've done it. Hey, it took us 50 times, or it took us 10 times, whatever.
It was a lot of. It was months.
The moon did it the first time, man. Wow. Awesome.
Here's the other thing.
Come on, guys, come on.
Here's the absolute impossibility. You have what's the strongest radio station in London? BBC, probably.
Yeah,
No, I mean, like,
BBC One.
I'm talking about one that broadcasts through the air.
Radio One,
Radio
probably.
1, yeah.
Okay. Now, how far can you go and hear Radio 1 from the
Can't
source?
hear it here.
All right. How far are you from there?
Well, I'm in Denmark, so
Oh,
it's not that far. It's across the water. I can't hear it here.
Couple hundred miles?
I can hear the BBC on my radio over here in Germany.
Okay. And Germany, I would say, is probably 1,000 miles away, 800 miles?
No.
Well, no, I can actually measure it on Google Earth how far away I'm from London.
Well, the point is,
miles.
if you want to, I bet you Yudit can't pick that up in Israel, the BBC. Here's my point. In New York City and in Los Angeles, you have probably the strongest broadcasting. I'm talking power to push the signal than anywhere in the world. And you can't pick up that New York channel. Well, I think it's probably NBC that has the strongest one. I remember right. It's either NBC or CBS has the strongest one in New York. You cannot go to Detroit and pick it up, which is CBS. Okay. So the point is, these radio or TV channels, they can't be pushed more than a few hundred miles. Maybe let's give it 1,000 miles.
Well,
although that's BS.
I measured it. It is 250 miles. I'm away.
All right.
roughly.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, but now we're talking 2018, Rich, guys. 2008.
Yeah. This is
But
the
back
power
in
we have today.
1969, back
Right.
in 1969.
Now let's go back to 1969. And how many people have seen the movie Apollo 13, which was supposed to be an extremely accurate recreation of the Apollo 13 disaster in space? Pardon me?
Loads of times. Past. I've seen it.
I'm still not hearing you.
Oh, I just said loads of times in the past I've seen it.
Oh, you have? Okay. Well, one of the main issues they talk about is a power problem. They're trying to go through a sequence to reboot the computer, which was 100,000 times less powerful than this. Seriously, that's true. And
but listen to what you're saying. I mean, listen.
yes, so they're trying to reboot that computer, get the lights on. They don't even have the power to warm it up. So there's in the movie they're showing ice on all the controls. So and they freeze the whole way back because there's just not enough power to do the whole thing. In fact, what they had to do was to fire everything up again. If you follow the story, they had to tie into one of the electrical lines that was in the part that just supposedly goes around the moon the whole time while they're on the surface. I can't remember what it's called. You have the lunar module, and then you have the other thing. Well, the other thing, they had to tie into the electricity of that. Remember how they were supposed to come together and dock? No sexual pun intended here. But they would come and dock. And that right there, my understanding is today's supercomputers might be able to calculate that in space, how you would go around, they went around each other, and come back and dock together. It would take a supercomputer to calculate that and get it right. And yet they did it manually the first time, of course. They couldn't even test that on the Earth. That was the first time forever. Anyway, back to the electric problem. So in the movie, they make the point that to fire all this stuff up and to get it to where they can come back with all the power that they needed, they had to do with no more power than it takes to fire up a coffee pot. Like a regular, pour the water in, turn the power on, let the water bubble through the the coffee grounds. That's the power that they had. I can't remember. It actually says how many amps it is in the movie. That's all the power they had combined with both the lunar module and the other thing together. So Let's get back to communications. The power needed to push radio and television signals from 232,000 miles. Are you kidding me? So, and they had this little, satellite dish that the astronaut just stuffed down and pointed it towards Earth. Meanwhile, it's zooming by the Earth at 800 miles per hour, and yet nobody's ever adjusting this thing, you know? When you get to that distance, how should I put this? Let's say I want to communicate with a satellite dish with a buddy of mine 100 feet down the street. He points his dish at me, and I receive it on, let's say, a walkie-talkie. No big deal. He doesn't have to be precise. Just get it close. Now, take him about a mile away, and he's got to be a lot more precise for that beam to get to me. Otherwise, he's going to miss, and I won't pick him up. Go 30 miles away, and he better be a surveyor to get it exact, to point right to me. Otherwise, he's going to miss me.
And also,
here,
you will get other things that interrupt the sound, other radio waves, other TV broadcasts, wireless things that will interrupt it.
Absolutely.
Also, Matthew has joined the hangout, the panel. Hello, Matthew.
I see. Howdy, Matt.
Hi, Matthew.
How's it going, everybody?
So, man, you got a haircut. It looks great. Yeah. Nice.
Working on personal me.
Yeah, well, it's also important, of course.
Unlike me, you have real hair.
I appreciate the compliment. Thank you, Ortiz. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So anyway, you take this out 232,000 miles. How precise does that little satellite dish have to be pointed at the receiver in Houston, Texas, or wherever the receiver is? Meanwhile, the Earth is also zooming by at hundreds of thousands of miles per hour with all its movements. It's spinning on the axis, and we never lose the signal for a second. And it's coming from 232,000 miles away with no more power than a coffee pot that a coffee pot requires to broadcast it. Are you kidding me? It's just unreal. So, and I started listening to somebody who was into propagation, TV waves and radio waves, and the power it takes to push it. And the ridiculousness of even thinking satellites up there would have enough power to do what they supposedly do is crazy. But now, when you take this out to the extreme, remember we were getting live pictures of Pluto from that probe? So it's, what, hundreds of millions of miles or whatever it is away, and it's precisely tuned to the receiver on the Earth. And what kind of power pack does it have to push it so many hundreds of millions of miles or whatever it is through space? And like Artis said, no interference from any other waves or signals the whole time. The ridiculousness of this when you break it down is sickening. And like I said, the icing on the cake is SpaceX. You want to believe after SpaceX, you need to just tune out everything else, listening to Disney, listening to CNN, and just go about your life in your degenerative state, because that's what you're going to get. You're going to get a degenerative disease, and then when you get it, you're going to run off to the doctor who's going to give you chemicals that's going to make your disease not only worse, but at the same time, it's going to fill their pockets with your money. And, that's the overall plan. And somebody, the guy that explained all this to me, he said, I want you to pay attention to China. China, the people, not only do they live to a long age, but they're very productive until they die. They don't come down with all these degenerative diseases and things like that. He said, listen to how the society is. They need workers, and they need a lot of workers, and they need them to work a long time. They don't retire at age 80 and get benefits. They keep going until they drop dead. And they're happy with that because they're healthy. Unlike here, we start getting sick in our 50s and 60s. Why? Because we have all kind of things like the military pays out pensions to people that have been in the military. We have Social Security pensions. We have private company pensions. And so what they want here is they want to kill you off right after your productive years are over. So when you get to be 60 to 65, just when you're ready to retire and have a great time, you come down with Parkinson's, cancer, you name it, and you only collect, well, here's a story. My mother got cancer, and also was fighting to get Social Security disability. It didn't quite take 2 years for her, but it took, I think it was 6 months, even though she had cancer. She got her first check in the mail for Social Security disability because she had cancer 3 days after she died. And then we called Social Security up and they said, you have to send the check back. They said if she would have died after the 14th of the month, she died on the 8th. If she would have died after the 14th of the month, she could have kept it. It's just, you talk about screwball. But that's why the medical system here is designed to kill you off by the time you hit retirement. Not before necessarily, but right then. And this is why it's all money. The root of all evil comes back once again.
Yep.
So if people, you want to believe, believing in flat Earth will save your life, because that'll open your eyes and you'll see that taking chemotherapy versus something like this is only going to just kill you off and provide more misery for your family, and you're going to be more poor because they're going to grab the money, any money back that you made through your hard work. Whereas in China, they don't have these issues. What don't they else have in China? They don't have big pharma in China. They have natural remedy. You go to a doctor over there. Oh, okay, let me give you this herb, that herb, and this one. And they're taken care of. So this stuff right here, there's no secret about it. We've known about this. Our government's known about this. But it's either illegal or covered up, and the people that come out with it, they're dead. What is it, 90 some now? Because I just heard another one died. Naturopathic doctors who were actually making progress getting the word out there, they just suddenly drop dead. Car accidents, brakes don't work.
Who was the doctor that worked with frequency only? He healed everybody in cancers and all kinds of stuff with just frequency.
I know him, Royal Rice. That was his name.
Yeah, the point is there's multiple ways to cure diseases, and we only have one, and that's the way that doesn't cure them. The only thing it cures is the bank account of Big Pharma.
Yeah.
But
the thing is, people are waking up to, like, you know, these natural remedies. I mean, years ago they used to call people like me witches. I'm not a witch.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm into the healthy things. I'm into the natural things, you know. Something smells good, I think, that smells good. Why? For a reason. It smells good for a reason.
Yes, absolutely.
It's attracting me towards that plant. That plant is attracting me because of its color. Why is it attracting me? Because of its color or its shape? Because it has properties that are medicinal, that are beneficial for our health, you know. That's the way I see it.
Indeed. And here's the
it's
side.
Always the case, because some things can attract you to them and it's going to kill you. That red mushroom with white dots on it, you know. Bah, you're dead.
Yeah. Also, here's the side. Here's the side that you can see Royal Raymond Drive with that frequency that you talked about. So if you want to research, you know where to find some information.
Hang on,
I guess he's no longer with us. Looks like an old picture.
Yeah, it's an old picture, but just to let people know how to write his name and get started on their research.
Absolutely. I got him written down. But there's so many different natural ways and alternative ways to fix ourselves. And they suppress them all. And it's like Yudit said, we need a place where we can have a connection where people like on this panel right here can help these people with solutions to whatever their problem is. So let's just call it the solutions to the cabal that has run all of us into the ground. Because different one of us have different solutions for it, or, you know, I might know about CBD oil and seizures, but, you know, I might not know about how to handle somebody that's had their kid sexually molested or whatever. You know what we need too? We need a good private investigator. That's what we need to be able to help some of these people.
You need help some people before they cause more harm, that they get a good treatment to solve their problem. And they never actually invest in that. And I'm surprised every time they don't invest in those kinds of things. Yeah.
But can you all feel that it's happening, that there's a shift going on in
Yeah,
human
for sure.
consciousness?
Yeah, for sure. More people I talk to are open to more open to the truth. There's certain things like propolis, like the flat Earth, and all that sort of things. More people are more open to it because you can feel that a lot of people are fed up with how the government is running our planet now.
You know, if I was to say to somebody, you can cure cancer, you can cure it yourself, you can flipping cure it yourself, man. They look at me like I'm from...
Exactly, yes.
You know, and I'm saying to them, you can cure cancer. You don't need to go to a fucking doctor. You can go online, research it, talk to people. There's groups, there's people in the know. I mean, people have been killed because of this, right?
Absolutely.
You can do it. There's an Italian guy many years ago. I mean, he had lawsuits and everything against him, but he had actually cured so many people of their ailments and stuff, you know?
Yeah, that's like, yes.
So simply. But I mean, I don't even want to talk about it because I'm yeah, reprisals and shit, you know? But why we're living in this state where we know we can do things, we're able to spread the message and help others do things good. We know we can heal ourselves, we can heal each other, help each other, but man, the powers that be say, no. You need to go to the doctor, you need to buy medicine, we need to half poison you and then half kill you and then 3/4 kill you and then kill you.
Yes. Well, I'm convinced doctors are good for one thing, and that's diagnostics. But beyond diagnostics, you have to know what you're fighting. Beyond diagnostics, forget it.
Yeah.
So
our body is it's an incredible machine. You just need to take yourself to the nature and meditate and breathe and don't eat, because when the body have disease, so we need to stop eat and let the body fight.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's all this, it's very, very important and natural. And yeah, we have this ability to do this to ourselves. So yeah.
Yeah, there's so many benefits to fasting. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Even if I'm getting ready to do probably, but when I do these supplements, something called warrior fasting, and that is where you just eat one meal a day. I'll probably start with trying to go 2 or 3 or 4 days at a time without eating, just to refresh my body, and then get into a warrior fast the whole time I'm taking all these supplements after I do the cleanse and everything like that. But there's, like I said, I could spend a long time telling you all the things medically wrong with me and the things I have to fight. And I'm convinced this is going to work. I really am. But I want to do it the right way and report on it.
Rich, I see many videos about the TV, what the TV done after you shut the TV down, you close the TV, the electromagnet still work, and the electromagnet in the TV, it sucks all the electromagnet in the house and from our body too. Do you know about this?
Yes. I'm waiting for these meters to get cheap where you can measure the electromagnetic frequencies that are being bombarded to you.
Antenna too. It's if the people have antenna close to the house, it's terrible.
Yeah, and I live in a neighborhood right now where there's a lot of people with satellite dishes everywhere and Wi-Fi. I mean, I can turn my phone on and I can pick up like 15 to 20 different Wi-Fis that I could connect to just from neighbors being around here. So just think of what the electromagnetic frequencies coming into this house are.
Exactly.
A lot.
Yeah.
It's terrible, and we need to know how terrible it is. I don't think we know enough about all this antenna.
Yep, I agree. I'm going to see if I can show you right now.
When you start looking, it gets deeper and deeper.
But the good thing is we are waking up as a whole, and we can start helping these people and helping ourselves too. I can.
Were you going to use your blackboard or not? Were you going to do something with the blackboard, or you changed your mind from that?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah. Did you want? I thought you were going to use your little board in the background. No, that was me. I misheard you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no. I don't have anything to present today.
That's okay, Rich.
Like I said, I explained what I tend to do with the Saturday Night Thrive thing. Now that I have a way to upload it without the regular way it does it, I have a workaround. You know, the amount of workarounds I've had to come up with in the last 2 or 3 weeks has been amazing. I had 2 computers become pretty much unusable, 2 hard drive crashes, and internet that wouldn't work. And so hopefully, and now I have that problem with Camtasia where I can't get it to make videos and upload them to YouTube, at least not directly. But I've got a workaround for that now. So I had to go out and buy the laptop I'm on now, which is probably good because is it still good like it was last week or last time?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's we can hear you perfectly at the moment. And
Okay.
then I mentioned that late in the 90s there was a guy, I forget his name. It's called the source code or the Bron code in that had a computer system that actually was faster than any computer now. So you could buy a computer for the rest of your life one time, and it was fast enough for the rest of your life, probably, or most part of your life. And basically, he died one day before it was actually did the contract signing with companies. He was found dead in his garden, and his whole attic, where all the archives were and all the information was cleared, and that whole thing he worked on was gone. It never was found again. So very strange. And he did presentations, and the people who were in with him to do the presentation and invested in it, he showed them that he had one of the new way of coding a computer. It was probably about 10 times as fast as the computer we have nowadays. But they tried to make sure that it was didn't get out to the public.
Yeah, God forbid. Hey, I want to share a screen with you. Hey, Matt, where did you say you live in the Pacific Northwest?
I'm currently in Grants Pass right now.
Okay, is that near? You don't use the Portland or the Seattle water supply, do you?
But it takes me about 4 hours to get to Portland, and I'd say about 12 hours to get to Seattle.
Okay, I can't remember which one it was. I think it's Portland, but I'm not positive. I was talking earlier before you came on about nanoparticles, and I'm going to share my screen here. I can get that to work again. Is it okay to share the screen, Karen? I'll take off the. They won't be able to see anything.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, of course.
Okay. Okay. So, can you see this here? Journal of Advanced Chemical Engineering?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It's probably not, let me see, make it as large as I can and still be able to. Wastewater treatment using nanoparticles.
India.
Now this is the government telling you they're using it in water, but they're also using it not just in wastewater, but they're also using it. Here's the first way they got it in here. They were able to, a lot of the municipalities are taking wastewater and turning it back into usable water. And one of the ways they're treating it is with these nanoparticles. And it's
a
very
nanoparticle. I got to understand exactly what they mean by nanoparticle first.
Sure.
Tiny.
And then,
That's kind of an oxymoron word in its own.
yeah, let me stop sharing because I just wanted to show that this is real and it's out there and they admit that it's there. They don't hide it. Uh-oh. Sorry, just a moment.
No, that's okay.
There we go. Nanoparticles are, in this case, tiny little robots that have been created.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that makes sense. Because when you say nano and particle, I'm like particles are already nano. Nano is a measurement of size, meaning, microscopic. Particles are already there. So it would be more along the lines of like nanobots, nanomites,
Yes,
stuff
exactly.
like that.
That's what
Human
they should
created,
call them.
engineering technology.
Right. What they do is they're
Okay.
creating these so they can go in and upon activation, just like running a computer code, they will go in and destroy or damage or whatever certain cells in the body. They know what exactly they're looking for. When they're activated, they go and do their job and then they're done.
Mhm.
And they're activated by
Have you looked into the fact
cell
that some of
phones.
them are not engineered? Have you looked into the
Yes.
bio nano,
Yes.
to where
It's
they
the engineer.
basically just manipulate already, organisms that are already existing. They manipulate them to do what they want.
Yes. There's two different ways. There's real or organic ones. I don't mean that in that sense. The OH is at the end of them, so showing that they're living tissues or whatever, living things. And then you have the man-made ones that are not bio. How should I put it? Their genesis wasn't in biology. It was in a laboratory, some chemicals or whatever. But these are evidently being put into, and the government is dictating, put them into Coca-Cola products, including the water, like Dasani. Now it makes sense. Michelle Obama, she was out there. Everybody's got to drink 9 glasses a day of water, nine bottles of water. And she held up a bottle of water. And of course, it was one of the ones that has nanoparticles in it. And they had all these people, kids and stuff like that around. Yes, we need to drink our 9 glasses of water today, which makes no sense. But anyway, that was to help get people into getting nanoparticles in their system. And they're evidently not getting them fast enough. So Coke and Pepsi, it's been dictated to them to increase the nanoparticles that are in their products. Coke, Pepsi, and Nestle are the big 3 I know of. But let me see if I can do a search while I'm talking to you, just to give you some sort of idea of the scope of this.
I can only imagine it will be horrendous. If it's something you can buy, it's probably in it. That's my surmise.
Yes. Well, trying to find something that's got more. I'm going to screen share this anyway.
Can I
It's
just
good
say,
enough.
while you're looking for that, Rich, I saw something the other day about nanoparticles where they have taken from the atmosphere, put it into a petri dish, and added something, and it began to formulate. It began to, it made a little life of its own. It started to react, and you can search for it. I mean, I'm sure you'll find it. This is scary shit. I mean, this
Yeah, it
is.
is.
And you think about it, we're breathing this crap in, we're breathing it in, so it's within us. And yeah, who knows what's going on inside us? What is it that will suddenly turn it on? And I start thinking about, well, what's 5G?
Oh, that's really scary.
Chemtrails. They're spraying chemtrails. The chemicals are all falling. We're breathing them in. We've been breathing them in for years and not knowing about it. I mean, yeah, we have known for a good time, but how long before that was it going on for, if you understand what I mean?
Well, my understanding is a lot of this stuff started in the 1950s and 60s, just when the space industry was getting all ramped up, surprisingly. I'm trying to find, there's a couple good things that show you all the Coke and Pepsi products. See if this loads, if this is a good one here. what happened was when this person was giving me the supplements, he said, "Are you drinking Coke products or Pepsi products?" And I said, "Well, I used to drink. I love Mexican Cokes because it's just a great taste and there's no high fructose corn syrup in it. But why would they show me this large?" But she said, what do you drink? I said, "Orange juice." She goes, "What kind?" She said, "Don't get Simply Orange." That's exactly what I was drinking. That's a Coke product. Anyway, you can go here and find all the different Coke related products. This isn't a good page here, but it's amazing. You can scroll and scroll and scroll and find all kind of different Coke products that you had no idea was Coke. Here's one called Fair Life, has a cow on it. I never even heard of that. Oh, here we go. It's going to scroll and give us some Coke products. Look at all this stuff. Of course, most of it is, well, that's not a good. There's some that are really good that'll do something like this. And it's literally hundreds of products. And then take Pepsi, it's another 50 products, and Nestle, another 50. And they're actually mandated and admitting they're putting nanoparticles in here on purpose. And forget about all the other bad things about it.
Yeah. I also heard that actually they put additives in their products. I don't know for sure if that's true. They put additives in their products so you don't throw them up. Because you
yes.
actually a
Absolutely.
reaction to it, and put additives in so you don't throw it up. Is that yeah? I heard about it. Yeah.
Yep, it's I looked it up. We talked about that the last time. I looked it up, and it's exactly what it was. Anti-volemic, keeps you from throwing up. Yeah. Preservatives, anything that has preservatives, unreal bad.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
anything you can buy that's got a vowel in it is probably not good for you.
Yeah, good point. So I've been held down by my health issues for so long that I've just got to do something about it, because it's a miserable life to live in pain, to live in depression, and to live with all these little things that I'm sure I was inoculated to get. In fact, I'm convinced of it. I mean, we have people getting autism from the MMR virus vaccine, rather. And here I've had 40 to 50 different ones. And I'm sure they were quite high potency. And God only knows how many of them were experimental, that 50 years from now it'll come out, "Oh, yeah, we were experimenting on people that were in the Navy at this period of time with this inoculation to see if they would get this." I'm 100% convinced of that.
Yeah, they've been telling us that for a long time, though, haven't they? Really, that the soldiers. We have seen programs about soldiers being inoculated with so many injections.
The question is what's the cure for all this? Do we just totally dismantle government? Totally, anarchy?
Yeah.
These. Yeah, well, these are the things we have to talk about as the solutions. Like Yudit said, we have to start. Well, we've identified so many problems. The question is, how do we?
Rich, can I say, a few weeks ago, I was talking with Jay, and we were on about the subject of we, the people, have the power, and that is the message that everybody needs to hear, and everyone needs to totally understand it, because we really do truly have the power.
And we have forgotten how to fight.
I mean, if we all say, "Look, we're not taking any more of this shit," and we all agree to it, and we all stand there, back to back, side to side, front to front, whatever. What can they do?
Yes, I have a great solution. Let's start to start dying. Stop eating, stop buying. Stop
going to the doctor. If you can stop going to the doctor, start there. That's for sure, because you can heal yourselves, eat healthily. I mean, I can't say that everyone can avoid not going to the doctor for sure.
Yeah,
there are a lot of people that have to go.
Yeah. We should find the balance between the system and the spiritual life. We can't do something very, in one side, and no, we need this balance. Sometimes we need a good doctor, yes. A good doctor, yes, we do. Sometimes we need these chemicals to slow this pill because it make us feel better. Yes. So I don't want to be like this. So, you know, it's we need to find the balance, and there
Yeah,
is,
Yeah, for
and
sure.
the solution is really stop eating and stop buying.
Yeah,
Stop buying. No
and the
matter what you buy, stop buying.
well,
Exactly.
This
actually,
is the solution.
yeah,
This is the solution. And if you need to buy, buy because you're hungry, not because other reason, because you need
Exactly.
this. And yeah, and this is the solution. Stop buying. Buy,
It's
buy,
like
buy,
people.
and
yeah,
yeah.
It's like
stop
people.
consuming.
Like people live to eat instead of eating to live. You
yeah,
know, overeating.
yeah,
You,
and also you can check online. Every supermarket have all the products online. You can click on it, look at the ingredients, and you can see what kind of additives are there. You can research just out on your computer. Almost every supermarket has an online list of
today,
all the things they sell. You can click on it and you can find what the additives are, research it. Very handy.
May I interrupt for just a second?
I can't get.
I just had the kids just got home from school, so I got a few errands to run, so I got to roll. But if I can, since Jay is on and everybody here, can I get a We Are Dancers before I roll?
Yes, man. I love you.
oh,
Excellent,
bravo,
Bubba. Right on. You want to count it down for me?
bravo.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
1, 2, 3. We
We
are
are
Then
dancers.
Yay!
Yay, we're
Excellent.
getting better.
Thanks, guys.
yeah,
I will be
Thank you
back
for
on.
that.
Hopefully, if you guys are still going, I will jump back on as soon as possible. But I've got some stuff to do. Still got life transitioning and whatnot. So I'll talk to you guys soon. All right.
We
all
love
right,
you.
man.
Later.
Take it
Love
easy.
you.
See you
Let us
later.
have
Love y'all too.
So there is the solution. Stop use the bank if you don't need it. Stop buying and stop eat. Yeah.
I think
Starving
you
to die. Yeah.
hey,
did.
you did. Yeah,
I agree totally, but we need to especially tell the kids to stop buying the shit, because if we can tell the kids, then their kids will, you know,
It's
continue
the
this
parents. It's the
solution.
parents. It's the televised vision. It's the parents. You see
Yeah,
who puts
but
the
we need
televised vision everywhere in the house.
we need to
Everywhere.
tell the kids, because when our kids are grown up and have kids, they can then tell their children, or you know, teach their children a better way of living instead of buying all this crap food. And it's crap food.
Yeah, and it's got to start now.
They're killing us with food, man. You know that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Starving to die. Yes, that's what we need to do.
You guys hearing me?
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Okay. So what do you think? Maybe I got to tell you a problem I have with Facebook. Every time now when I on my phone try to go, I don't hardly do anything with Facebook, and I never have. The only reason why I was even on there was to communicate with my daughter, but now she's almost 30, so I don't need it. Every time I try to log in with my phone, because I never have, it'll say, we need to verify that it's you. Send us a picture to verify it's your face or whatever. I don't like that. I mean, they're trying to get facial recognition on me.
Me
So
too,
what-
Rich.
Yeah.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah,
I didn't like it. Yeah.
I've heard about it indeed. Yeah,
They've got your thumbprint, your fingerprint. They've got your eyes. They've got your face.
Yeah.
You have you seen what they've done in China? I mean, how many millions of cameras are in China, and they're tracking everyone's movements with everything, what they're buying, how many pieces of toilet paper they're using. I mean, it's ridiculous.
yeah. That's why what I do on purpose, get money from the bank, cash money from the bank, and buy everything with cash money. So they can't see where you're buying certain things. Get to the bank, get your money from the bank, and then buy in cash. So they can't see what your buying pattern is. That's how I do it.
Yeah, and that's why they're discouraging cash payments
Oh yeah,
almost
for
everywhere.
sure. They try to discourage it as much as possible. But I'm doing it always. And it also helps you to get a picture how much you spent. I get the same amount of money every week to buy things that week. And then you can see, oh, my money's almost gone. Or I'm at the end of my what I actually got from the bank. So I have to be a little bit more careful what I spent. So you can also have the same amount of money every week. And therefore you don't overspend. And the chances you're actually spend too much with a card is very high. And if you actually get cash money, you can have that in check more.
So where I was going with Facebook is, and like what you're talking, you're giving a solution for not being tracked.
Yeah.
Should we come up with a website where we have all these different expertises and where people can go and say, how do I get off the system and get out of the system? And yes, and be able to contact one of us who's in a special area so we can help them get more information and help their family. We got to break this chain of just father passes it to son, passes it to grandson. It just goes on and on and on. And that's what they've designed, and that's where we are now with the I mean, we got to get them out of the education system. You need to homeschool, which will actually have you learn more than if they were in school.
Oh, yeah.
In a fraction of the time.
Oh, actually, there's a channel called the Truther Girls. Maybe you know it or not. And actually, her son has autism, and he was sent to different schools. But she told what his problem was, but actually, they did almost the opposite. Pull his arm, shout at him. So that child was very upset about it. But so they tried to another school. It didn't work every time. So actually, that kid was kicked out of school, and she needed to homeschool him. Well, actually, he's now doing very great. Actually, as he got his studies books, and he actually studies more because she's now teaching him, and she knows how to teach him. And the homeschooling actually works perfectly, and he's far more relaxed. And because he has autism, he has some problems, and now he's being taught at home. It works perfectly. He learns more. He's more relaxed. He doesn't have a lot of trouble going around anymore. So yeah, that's actually proof that homeschooling is far better as for him, for sure.
Yeah, see, that's a different thing too. We can, like, I don't want them to, like in Arizona here, you can homeschool, but it's still the same indoctrination. If you connect to the state, you get the state's, BS history and the BS science and the BS nutrition.
Yeah,
that especially.
You get delivered like a kind of a syllabus that they have to follow. They have to do this, they have to do this, they have to do this.
Yes, and what I'm thinking is we can provide a list of alternative resources where parents can go and say, okay, how can I teach them good nutrition or good history, that's not delivered and packaged from the government?
My not question, but my reaction is this: why do we need to have a certain level? At what level is the level? If you understand what I mean, we're being taught. Our kids are being taught. You need to know this. You need to know this. You need to know. Let's say you need to know this when you're this age. By the time you're 12, you need to know this. By the time you're 18, you need to know this. Right? Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Who said they're correct? Because I do not agree with half of the things that they say, or even 75% of the things that they say. I mean, truly.
And also, the pace doesn't fit a lot of people. You have to learn 30 in a certain pace. Some people are slower or faster. So the people who can learn very easily get bored because they go through the stuff twice as fast. And you have people who have a little bit more trouble with the stuff, and they are left behind. Yeah, so the whole system is a system that is, for the not for everybody. And also, certain people are good at certain things. And they only, and actually, if you some people are good at languages, some people are good in mathematics. But if you're good at mathematics, just make more things for that children to learn about mathematics and less about language. You are in Germany, you have to learn in a higher education, you have to learn your main language and 2 other languages.
Yeah.
Why don't they only do your main language and only English, and not 3, only 2 or 1? And then actually, if you're not good in languages but more good in calculation, add some calculation classes to it, that they can actually learn more about that, and only have 2 or even 1 language to learn. But you have to get the whole package, and it doesn't fit everybody. That's the problem. And that's why they don't pass their graduation, because the whole system doesn't fit for all the different people that are around.
No, exactly. You know, we have, they say, 7 styles of learning. You've got people that are visual, people that are audio. You know, you hear things or you can see things. And that is not taken into consideration. Oh, in school. It's like, are you dumb or what? No, I just don't understand. Well, what don't you understand?
You're lumped in with the group.
Teacher, you need to explain to me in a way that I understand, because if you can do that, then you're a good teacher. You're teaching me. But teachers do not teach. It's more like the pupils are still asking questions. I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm not good at mathematics. I don't get it. What don't you get? I don't know. Explain to me in a way that I will understand it, please. That's what I would love for them to do, but they just cannot do that. So teachers are unable to teach. I'm sorry to say, I mean, that's true. Teachers are unable to teach. Even my son says, I don't understand mathematics. I say to him, don't worry about it. It'll all come. The things you need to know, you'll end up learning anyway, you know?
Well, some people, it's enough to learn only the basic mathematics, because the job they will do later on, they don't need it.
Absolutely.
So why they have to learn a whole package of certain mathematics, or a whole package of languages, 3 or sometimes even 4, and they never need it. They only need English and their main language. And that's it. For their job, and they have already are good in a certain direction, but they have to learn all those other faculties that they later on never need.
Wasn't it somebody on this panel that was talking about how easy it is to learn other languages once you do it a certain way? Or did I hear that somewhere else?
I don't know.
What do you mean? What do you mean, Richard?
I was speaking with somebody and they said that there's certain basics to learning other languages, and if there's a certain teaching method where anybody can learn another language pretty rapidly if you use it.
But I've
heard of that.
I've heard that there is 100 words you need to know, basic 100 words, and that is the essence of every language. If you know the 100 words, in, on, under, about, around, over, basic. There are 100 words. Any language, if you can learn that 100 words, hey, you can speak the language, because, you know, like Pidgin English, where shop. We don't need to say, could you please tell me where the shop is?
Yes.
Where shop. We understand that. Yeah. And that's basically.
Now,
the rest comes along naturally.
Can you tell me where to go? Can you tell me where to go to find those 100 words?
Online.
Okay. See, these are the things I think we can put together in one place.
I've got them in a book somewhere. I have
okay.
100 words.
These are resources I think we can put together in one place for people to make it easy. And another thing I was thinking as we've been talking is we need to teach people, again, how to fight. Before we can get rid of the government, there's a way to go to address the government, to petition the government to say, hey, for example, in homeschooling, we don't want a law requiring us to have, like you were saying, people learn the quadratic equation by age whatever, 16, because that's just not what certain people aren't into mathematics, and certain people will never go into a job where they need to know anything more than the basics, how to count change. People can't even count change anymore.
Oh.
It's amazing. You know, if you go to a store and buy something and hand them cash, and if the computer doesn't tell them how much to give back, they're lost. They are seriously lost and have no clue. It's
Can I
these
say
people-
Can I
Yeah.
say one thing about University of Iowa? When I wanted to get help because I had professors that did not know how to match their printed syllabus with their syllabus online, and because they're certified, they could get away with murder. I saw that she had trees in her office, the dean. I said, "Oh, those are beautiful trees you have there." And I said to her, "No, that cortex means bark of tree." And she looked at me. She goes, "What's that?" And I said,
Love it.
I'm not kidding. I looked at her, right? I see all these certifications and these awards, and this is nothing personal. She really didn't know. So I said, "Oh," so I had compassion, right? I didn't want to make her feel bad because she was actually trying to help me. So I said, "Oh, well, your cortex is in your brain and it means bark of tree, hence why you're so connected to all the plants you have here." And so she was like, "Wow." So instead of making her feel bad, which is what a professor would do, right? Give you a bad grade. You got to rigor. Oh, you're a failure. I don't teach.
Jay,
Yeah. So
one of the aspects that children, or especially children, the up and comers, they need to learn about all the synchronicity, like what you're teaching, what Santos is teaching, because there is a similarity, there is a connection between words, and everything is related. It's all down to words, it ties in, like I said, cortex, and the teacher, what?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of these people don't know what a solar plexus is, and they have PhDs. They don't understand what that really, really means to have the sole of your feet, which means the sun, and it relates to fish, and it relates to walking on the earth, which has all the minerals in it. Simple, right? Hence, you have people who wear a lot of Iron Man, the people of Mars, the conquistadors, these knights, the metal people, the Saturnian metalists, material world people came in and realized that we're immortal. The biggest secret in Freemasonry is they realize that they're immortal. They know the truth about themselves. So now I have nothing to lose. So I can die for this, my brothers and sisters, whatever. They know they're immortal. They don't teach us that stuff. They don't teach us that we have a life force, a solar plexus. There's so much to that. Very vital for lessons. So for dancing, I mean, for me, my gosh, it's so important that they just love their bodies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Love your body. Love who you are. Be comfortable in your own skin. I wanted to am I allowed to share some images, Karen, about health and stuff? It's just an article. Is that all right?
Yeah, do it.
Okay, cool. So the East Indians drink cow urine, and I realized that it must be for a reason. So we find here that apparently it helps with cancer. And I know a lot about urine therapy, and it's actually quite interesting when you look into these kinds of things, and we realize that there's more to life than just one side of it. But so I'm going to show another thing here about urine and how powerful it is and how it comes from our body. So I'm going to go to etymology quickly and just show this is pretty cool. So urine relates to, let's see here, milk. Milk, we see rain, and we see the sea. Now, this is really important for symbolism because everything that's happening to our bodies with being poisoned is to kill our spiritual symbols. When we go to udder, it relates to what? It relates to the milk gland of a cow or a goat. Now, so I'm thinking in terms of symbols, what could this mean? Like how much more depth is there here? So I look at myself and I realize, all right, I have urine, right? So Uranus means the heavens in Greek. So when I was poisoning myself, this is how powerful urine is. When I was eating GMOs years ago in North Carolina, I was eating donuts and fast food. I was a mess. You know what I mean? I had horrible hemorrhoids, pardon me, because my body was like, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. And I was hating it back like, Urgh. So I got a wart in my foot back then, as toxic as my body was. And I heard that if you put your foot in urine, The wart, it goes away. So I was like, all right, whatever. So I tried the shit. I put my foot in the urine. The wart went away within seconds. It just faded.
way.
Now, yeah, that's with a body full of tons of crap. So just think about that for a quick second. Just digest that. Think about it. That means we have an elixir in our body naturally, no matter what's going on, that wants to heal you. Whoa, whoa. So I had to rethink this urine thing, and I saw an awesome presentation about it. The gentleman's hair is growing back. His mom was sick, diabetes. She went on it. I think she had scoliosis or multiple scoliosis. She was crippled, and she's walking. So there's something about our body. There's something about.
I'm sorry, just to clarify, this is your own urine.
Yes, mine.
Okay.
Yes, your own human urine. The cow urine makes sense to me. I'll tell you why it's important. We have to get into symbolism. On my phone, you see the letter T, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, this is important because it's not just about poisoning us. There's a structure, and they use a science. They use the bull. They use the Taurus. Now, why does Shiva have a bull? What is he about? Breathing. So they're poisoning the air with these other energies that are combating your spiritual symbols. It's very important because what that does, when you're aware of the words, you're already undoing the ritual, right? So you can repel the poison is my point. You can repel these chemtrails if you drink your urine. You're always detoxing. What urine does is it's all the minerals. It's full of salt. Your body is salvation. Sal, sol, sun, same word. It's beautiful. Your body's perfect. So of course, they promote poison foods. They want you to get further and further away from how awesome you are. So when we look at salt and mineral deficiencies, that's the biggest issue. Mucus to the brain, too much other fluids in there, combating your sea, your natural waters, your psychic waters, your antenna to get the hell out of here. We're supposed to fly with a higher consciousness. And so it's very funny to me, not like I'm laughing at the pain of it, but I know how awesome we are. I mean, I'm drinking it. My hair, okay, it's growing back slowly, but this was not that. This was much thinner about a month ago. My hair is slowly thickening. It's getting electric energy back. So why did Sumerians live to, what was it, thousands of years old on the king's tablet? You see the ages that they lived to. I mean, video games show you how you have only so much life, right? I'm thinking to myself, there's something going on about us. And so when you're playing the game and you say, oh my God, I'm going to die one day. I'm going to die. I'm going to die. Think about it. They're constantly putting death, the brotherhood of death, skull and bones, corporations, the corpse, you know, the Dead Sea. They're afraid of life force energy. They hate us because we're all about life. Ether is in our lungs.
Who's they?
They, I would say, I want to call them dark serpents.
Okay. The
Simple
dark
for
ones
me.
among us.
The dark ones among us, sure.
Hey,
Okay.
let's break it down. They, which is T-H-E-Y.
Mhm.
I'm going to think about it.
Yeah. It's a very powerful thing, the human body. And I think that's why they do experiments. That's why they have people like Charles Darwin, your scientist Darwin, who did his experiments and he made it official, right? He went and made all this stuff official, and there's all these books and stuff on your body, but no one told you your brain has flower and plant and bark of a tree. Trees live for hundreds and hundreds of years. I'm just saying, like, if I
Wow.
know that. Yeah, go ahead.
Biblically, we got a lot of people that lived close to 1,000 for quite
Yes.
a long time.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
And again, and what you're saying gives a new meaning to the term "physician, heal thyself."
Yes.
Rich, we was talking about that was it yesterday, in fact, about in the Bible, you know. Now, I'm not going to say all these names in the right order or anything like that, but, you know, Abraham, and he had he lived for 716 years, and he fathered Joshua and Jacob and Peter and Ken and they live for 257 years. It's like, if you look at it and you add up all these years, oh my goodness, man, when did this all begin? I mean, when did it begin? Because this is a long time ago.
Tower of Babel. Yeah. Yeah, man.
What do you do with words and etymology that have been screwed up by the English language? For example, like, let's take the word, I had a good example for you. That's just totally, it's just us making up BS. Like everything now, any kind of controversy is something gate, like Watergate, but it has nothing to do with the actual meaning behind it.
Pizzagate.
Pizzagate. Thank you very much. That's actually it. Now, with Pizzagate, that means pedophilia in the United States is specifically what that means. Where if it means around the world, it's pedogate. So with etymology, you can't come up with, I don't think, anything with Pizzagate to mean exactly what it means, because we've destroyed original meanings of the word by putting those two things together, pizza and gate. You know, gate came from the Watergate Hotel, and for that type of thing. And I hate that they do that. Everything is such and such gate. It's like, come on already. Can't you get it more original than that?
Why do they do that? I wonder why they do that, man.
Well, it's very sneaky, and it's very sneaky. They know that words are rituals. You know, when you chant Hare Krishna, like I've given birth to new plants. It's amazing. So gate, baby means gate. The word baby or babalan or baba, it means gate. So there's something about child or children-like consciousness that's very important. So when they're putting gate with something, they're associating not just with pizza. Isa is ISIS. It's very sneaky. It's all, I was going to tell you actually, the three words that you want to know, in my opinion, that will help you make all the connections is the Israel one. Because when you take apart Israel, you get is, you get Ra, and you get El. Everything will have an L, an is, or an it, a Ra, or a re, or a ran in it, for sure, in some part of it. And you'll start seeing the word looking for the is. It works. That's how I did it. It simplifies the origins and where they come from. So they're trinities that dance together. So when they put pizza in gate, water in gate, well, we know the water is what they're manipulating. You know, they're using water, they're poisoning the water. You have fluid in your brain for psychic abilities to ascend. They know the water is very powerful. And then gate, well, we all go through a portal of some sort. Well, babies are a symbol of coming through the womb, of creation, of life. And so it's ritual, it's to invert it. It's very sneaky. But
I understand all that, but what do you know how the Watergate term came to be, what the actual crime was?
That was with Nixon and all the lies, right? You mean all the bullshit? Yeah, of course, man. You're saying, why do they associate that title with that behavior?
No. What I'm saying is that if you're into etymology, Watergate, and because that is now something gate is always associated with a controversy, not a controversy. It's associated with a crime or some sort of scandal in government. But you know, if they would have, if the break-in, what it was a break-in to steal some files of a psychiatrist to get dirt on a individual who was leaking information in the Nixon administration. Now, if they would have done the exact same thing in the Hilton Hotel instead of the Watergate Hotel, it would have been Pizza Hilton. It just happened to be the Watergate hotels where, that's what I'm saying. How can you put etymology like Pizzagate together when the gate part just happened to be a coincidence with the name of the hotel where the break-in occurred, and pizza is because that's one of the symbols they use to indicate that it's pedophilia. They'll have a little pizza symbol. You can have that pizza symbol on a barber shop as a symbol, and that the FBI supposedly knows if they see that symbol along with others that it's pedophilia involved. But my thing is, how can you make those connections? How do you know when not to make the connection, etymologically speaking, to a term? because I don't think you should do that with Watergate or Pizzagate or whatever, because they are two terms, pizza and gate, that came from abstracts that had nothing to do with what the underlying meanings of the words are. Do you follow what I'm saying? I agree that the etymology makes sense with words that I think have not been corrupted. But to put pizza and gate together and call it Pizzagate, that's a corruption of the etymology of the word. Just because of it's like raining cats and dogs. It's like using that makes no sense in a literal fashion.
Sure.
I'm convinced that if Jesus said the day he returns, it will be raining cats and dogs, that people would believe he would not return until literally cats and dogs were falling from the sky in Israel.
Well, it would be like for me, like how I see the word Jesus as Jesus and Yeshua as Yesua. I mean, these are the names that we should be looking and seeing the relations to them. For me, it's really about doing it where it's appropriate to elevate someone. I mean, already those two words have a negative vibration anyways, in terms of mind control, in terms of creating depression, in terms of creating bad moments in history. So
you're talking about Pizzagate or Watergate?
Okay. Those terms, totally. Yeah, it creates fear. Everything's a campaign, fear campaign, signal to drug campaign. It's a campaign. They're running for something. It's that whole culture likes to butcher our words because our words are connected to one source, and they're gods and goddesses and symbols of each other. Hence the importance of knowing the is and the raw and the L's and the Yeshuas and the Jesuses and the Yasads and the where are these words coming from? Like, why is no also on? It's beautiful when you're in control of the vibration of it.
No, I get it. Yeah, I don't deny that.
I don't know, man. The Watergate thing, I
just think at certain times you have to make a distinction and say, hey, I shouldn't go down the etymological graveyard with this, so to speak, because it ain't going to lead me to the real meaning of it. That's all. Yeah. And I think that if you knew the original languages, especially, that's where you could probably really tear up some etymological information. You could really expose that.
Totally.
I think, I was speaking about that earlier about languages. All these languages, they are so connected. I mean, you would not believe how so connected they are. And the more languages and the more, especially like you, Jay, if you understood a few more languages, believe me, brother, you would be like, oh my God, what is going on?
I have a rap song in French and English. Oh, see, this is the thing too. I know a little bit of Latin. If you know some Latin gives it all away. Mente. It's all the mind. It's really good. Yeah, exactly. They're really good at that. Sol, sun, salt, salvation, solution.
Yeah.
Right. So then that word is in everything. It's in Spanish. It's all over the place, They have El Salvador. I mean, that's okay. El is Hebrew, but no, there it is in Spain and the Spanish and whatever. So they do dance together.
We also you have to think about the endings of words. The endings like shun, Tion, shun, condemnation, and I mean, there's many others as well. But those endings, especially words that have got the same endings, there is something tricky going on there. I'm pretty sure there's something tricky going on.
And the titles of your TV shows, like The Honeymooners, your Jackie Gleason's. I thought about this while talking about the moon landings and television and influence. And I'm thinking, honeymooners. When someone shows you their booty, they moon you, right?
Yeah.
Thinking, I thought, I think there could be some cheekiness to the moon, Alice. To the moon, Alice.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? That's subtle.
They even show the moon in the opening.
Yes.
In the opening video. Yeah, it's always the moon.
His face is in it, and his name is Jackie. Well, Jack-o'-lantern. That's the symbol of the sun. See, these are all Freemasons, for sure. Yeah. And they're good actors. But you see, they're acting sciences. They're acting things that get a result. And we're the victims. Like, not hating on Jackie Gleason necessarily, but there is something about these words and the performing of them that...
And then you had Norton, who worked in the sewers below.
Right. Dude, he was a bus driver, right? Jackie Gleason.
Yeah, Jackie. He was the bus driver. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, there's so many things, and it was always on the cusp of him beating her up. I'm like, why are we
Yes.
laughing at this?
Yes.
What I mean?
Yeah.
Like the whole
Listen,
idea of the sacred feminine too, the moon, and do you know what I mean? And a TV show like creating this tension.
yes. And in the 60s, like Bewitched and other TVs, even into
Yeah,
the
man.
70s, it was funny to get drunk and drive drunk. You know, it was like, yeah, he
Right.
was so bombed he ran into 3 cars on his way. Ha ha ha! And everybody's laughing. It's like, what?
So crazy.
Yeah.
I'm just now. You just gave me the. Yeah, I remember watching that. And what was the one with the girl in the bottle? I Dream of Jeannie.
I drive Genie. Yes.
Dream of. Come on now, the gene. She's in your genes.
And what was he? He was an astronaut.
He was an astronaut.
Yeah.
We're on to it. And then the $1 billion man, Steve
Oh,
Austin.
yeah. Steve Austin. Yeah.
$1 million.
Right. That was science. Look, they know how to make men into robots.
Yes.
We have the
Yep.
technology. We can
Yeah, it's
rebuild them. We
Yes.
have the technology to build the world's first bionic man.
Wow, you've seen quite a few episodes.
Be that man. Better,
And then we got the bionic
faster,
woman.
stronger.
Bionic woman.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, remember that shit, man.
Yeah.
And you
And you
forgot,
got-
you forgot Space 1999.
Let's go.
Do you remember that one?
You got
Rich?
Wonder
Space
Woman.
99.
Oh, yeah. Wonder Woman.
Wonder. She's making you think now. Wonder Bread. Wonder Bread. What was in Wonder Bread? Wonder Bread, you could turn it into a ball, throw it at a wall, it would put a hole in it.
Absolutely.
Digest that.
Yes.
These people crazy. And then the TV shows, we're laughing at it. Ha 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 ha. And then we get sick,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Hmm.
Back to Big
What's his
Pharma
name?
again.
Cosmo Kramer, right? Cosmo Kramer
Yeah.
from Seinfeld.
Yep.
Cosmos. He was a 33rd degree Freemason, Scottish Rite. Oh, research that man. That's why he had his little meltdown.
Are you talking about him in reality?
Yeah, man.
33rd degree Freemason?
Yes, sir.
Funny character, though.
Very
Yeah.
good actors. You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? And that's very good point.
He was actually my favorite because he was like a bit
Mine too.
play out.
Mine
Yeah.
too. I loved him. I loved it. And I don't take that away. But, you know, when you get out of the sort of groupie mode and you get into research, you're like, oh, they're kind of playing with me a bit.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's kind of not so fun, right? When you know a little more about your heroes. Like the guy that inspired me to do ballet, he was a horrible person. He was I've heard horrible things about him. Sorry, go ahead.
And that's a good point that you bring up, because you have all these association things that people go down. Oh, his cousin is this, or his uncle is that, or he learned in this case from this person. They're horrible Freemasons. I'm sorry, but each person's got to be judged on their own, not their associations in the past.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is.
Oh yeah, it's not to say that all Freemasons are bad. I mean, I'm sure some of them are trying to wake up right now. I would love and encourage anyone who is to know who you are. It's okay. There's truth in it. There actually is. You are Solomon's temple. You know, you are Hiram Abiff. Goes on and on. It's just you have to find the terms in your body to channel that knowledge of self faster. Because I think knowledge of self can be sold to us in too many romantic ways. Just give it to me the way, that's who I am.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, man.
So getting back to this concept of having a place where we can go, again, I'll say I agree with going to the doctor. If I have a pain in my stomach, I think the doctor is a perfect place to go to diagnose me, have an MRI, and say, okay, you have a tumor, or no, it's this. For diagnostics, I agree with it, but not for treatment. Not unless it's a holistic doctor. But I really think we should do something. You know, we talk about, we have hangouts all the time, and everybody's doing hangouts now. That's the thing to do now, is live hangouts. But nobody's actually putting together something to help people. And it'd be nice to be able to go and say, I have this specific problem, search for it at a site. Here's the answer that patriots or freedom loving people or people that are not connected to the Freemasons, this is the real solution.
May I just chime in? Because I mean, a little while ago, I said exactly that. Well, the first thing I said was the biggest way for us to get change is to stop working. That's my humblest opinion as well. Don't go to work. If we all didn't go to work to feed the beast, then it would need us and be craving and addicted, and it would suck on us. So that for sure, I believe, would be the biggest powerful thing. Just don't go to work and go to a place that you hate. And then also, we have to, I think, find ways to provide our talents, like what you just said. Like a place, I was thinking of doing like an event where we all, we do an event somewhere out in public. You know what it is. We promote it. It could be like a performance. It could be a Q&A where you have art, you have your scientists, you got your spiritualists here, boom, boom, boom. You walk in it, kind of like, you know, you're going to get your new iPhone, or it's a big tent. You know what I'm saying? There's a stage, whatever. Like, I agree. I'm pumped. I'm all about community. Yeah, go ahead.
There is a project underway. There's Aaron's Project Lumen.
Cool.
Where he's been on quite a few times on Sun and Moon to explain a different way, you know.
Great.
Talking it through spirituality and having Flat Earth TV and dealing with NASA and doing schools differently and education and stuff like that. So that has started.
I think we need to help. We need to help people start to make their own little communities with local people that are like-minded. So like you said, you know, if you're a painter and I'm a mechanic, well, come and paint my house and I'll fix your car. You know, different. Yeah, eventually it gets there.
We spoke about this. Me and Jay spoke about this not long ago, didn't we? You know, drop your job. You know, we do favors for favors. I'm a carpenter. I'm a glazer. You know, I'm an artist. I can write a story, or I can play a tune, or sing you a song if you want. Everybody has a talent. Everybody on this earth has a talent. You know, you can bake bread probably. I'm not right good at baking bread, but I'll tell you what. You bake a loaf of bread for me and I'll fix your window, man. Or I'll put a door on for you, no problem.
Yeah.
That's the way we should do it.
Yes.
No harm to anybody. Help each other out. Simple. There's no problem. We don't need politics.
No. And you can even get to the point where, this is how I got into the whole QAnon thing, where you can go and legally get your property to be sovereign so that you're not under the authority of anybody else. It's got to be done legally, and you don't have to pay taxes then.
I believe everybody should have that God-given right that we are all sovereign beings here, and we have that ability to be sovereign humans. Because that's what we're born, aren't we?
Yeah.
Or maybe not. We're born dead.
Well, you know, when I graduate, I plan to stay here. You know, I understand the importance of having, I guess, what you call a master's. What I want to do is, I'm into outreach programs, Thrive and Survive. I'm into community service. I've done it. I'm into special needs, teaching dance for special needs. I found through nature some things that can help, because I know it frustrates a lot of parents with the health system today and how they treat children who are unique. So I'm all about it, man. Trust me, like, really, like, that to me is what I love, seeing the energy in person. Like, seeing it physically, the information, and then you're like, wow. And the person grows up and, I'm a dancer, or whatever the heck their theme is. Themes are really are potent. You know, we should have a theme. We should have a movement. Yeah, a place where we can go, a community. They have gated communities, for God's sake. Who's deciding to put a gate on land that we all have? Like, who's making the decision to gate something, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm kind of fresh. I'm like, I'm walking in nature, and here I'm seeing these gates and codes, and I'm like, I could walk over there. It's crazy.
Well, I think, I mean, the idea of not working doesn't work until you have enough people around you to be able to do that. That's the one issue there. You know,
that'd be extreme. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But
I meant like a joint whole. No, sorry, like.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah. But eventually it does get there. I mean, it does get there to where, and I'm convinced this is what Jesus was in. He was in a commune where people today would call it communism, but there's no central government. It's everybody treats each other like you would want to be treated, and anything you need, somebody else provides, or you provide for their needs. And it's a happy, debt-free, carefree society where you don't have any worries. You don't have a tax man coming to collect on your property because it's sovereign, and you don't have any paid police officers who are here to do everything but protect and serve. You have your own people looking out for your own community. Nothing looks out better for protection, because that's where people want to go. Who's going to protect us? Well, your neighbors can protect you. No, nobody in your community. If you have it set up right, the police take it at best 3 to 5 minutes to get there, and that's a great scenario if they happen to be close. Your neighbors are there, right there, all the time. So you can protect your own community. There's strength in numbers, and it's just something that like-minded people, I think it's time to do it. Instead of consuming physical goods, we need to consume real education, real solutions. That's the kind of, more of a spiritual consumption versus a physical consumption. We're told. Go ahead.
Can I say, sorry, Rich. Can I just say there is a place in Portugal. It's called Tamera with R, and it's kind of like a self-sustaining society, and they create their own electricity. They have their own crops. They produce their own. They're all vegans or vegetarians. Yeah, vegans. I believe. They do everything. And this has been going on for many years. I think it's actually German. The guy who started it's German, but they have a little bit of free love going on there and shit, But the idea essentially is a fantastic idea, because that's all me. I'd love to just have a community, people. We all get along together. We, create. We do different ideas. Hey, this I need doing. Can you do this for me? Or there is no money. There's no need for money. There's no need for want of anything, because we all create and we all have everything. In a sense, it's almost like a kibbutz in Israel. You don't need anything. Everything is there. We all work together. We all get a collective wage. The spoils of the labor, and everyone's happy.
Yeah, and we realize we don't need a 55-inch TV or whatever.
No.
That's the kind of consumption I'm saying. Forget about it. And you grow your own food. It's all self-sustaining eventually. Like you said, energy. And I still got to get a hold of Weebly about his energy devices. But these are things that you share the energy, you share the water resources, and I guess what? If you're sharing the same water resources, nobody's going to pollute it. So here you don't know. If you don't know if who's polluting your water here, because you're not really one community. You're put together with a bunch of other people, but you're not working as a community. We're all isolated, and that's the way they want it. Everybody stays in their houses.
That's it.
When I was growing up, we used to have power outages, rolling power outages all the time in Baltimore City. Poorest white neighborhood in Baltimore City. And the whole city that would have these rolling power outages. And what would happen is the power would go out almost every time in the early, or say around sunset, because that's when people are really getting home from work and they're cranking up their air conditioners. This is in the summer where this happened. And it just was too much for the power grid at that time. Well, what happened was all the neighbors would go outside and sit on the front porch. They'd light candles, and everybody would communicate with one another. And so you got to know your neighbor. You would share food and drink and different things like that. It was really a cool thing. A bad thing, losing power turned out to be a good thing. But ever since that's gone, nobody knows their neighbor here. Nobody knows, you might know your next door neighbor to some degree, but that's one person. I've probably got 5,000 people within a mile of me, maybe twice that. And I don't know any of them. And that's just the way they've got it down for us. There should be somebody I know here that can help me with holistic information research. In fact, there is. It's my son. He's so much into that. So if I have a problem with it, whatever, he knows the top of his head what mushroom to take, or iodine, or whatever in nature, needs to be done to help that. if I need a car fixed, my brother does that, and he's a welder and he's a plumber, different things like that. So if we combine these talents of people we know, that's going to be the key. And
Yeah.
we need somebody that knows how to put together a website. That's done. Well, I can put together a website, but it's not really the greatest thing. So we need somebody knows how to do code and all the different things so that we can make this start to work. Because I'm actually tired of talking about it. I want to do something.
Can I just interrupt? There's people in the chat here saying the same thing. Basically, we need to react. We need to do something, And I agree totally. We need to do something. But that's a good start there, that we have a website or something where we can put our ideas to start with anyway and formulate some sort of something.
Yes, something that's not connected to a Google or Facebook where they can come in and monitor it and whatever. Yes.
Radio station 24/7.
Good idea.
Yeah.
I'm not hearing something 24/7.
Radio. She said a radio station.
A radio station. Oh, you mean like an internet radio station?
Yes, 24/7. Yes.
Oh, that's a good idea.
That's very simple to do because, well, if you think about it, right? How many are we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Okay. Let's say we're eight people. It's like 3 hours.
Yeah, 3-hour shift.
3 hours. Or yeah, let's say we were only doing for 3 hours, 20 minutes each person, that's nothing. But like you said, 3-hour shift, it's nothing. Everyone can do 3 hours, no problem.
I'm thinking too, like if it's a website or even, I'm thinking like there could be each certain categories where, like, if you want to get a certain art, if you're feeling down and depressed, you can come to this particular part and someone can motivate you and show you how to sort of do this differently. So if you're an artist and you're down and out, you can get your confidence again. Because a lot of people commit suicide and harm themselves because there's not someone there to say or show them physically, you can do it like this. So that would be really powerful. I'd love to provide the, an energy like that. For
or
sure,
somebody
man.
just to provide love to them.
Yes.
You are important because we're told we're worthless.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, we're a little speck. It goes back to flat Earth. We're a little speck on a little blue ball flying through space, or green ball, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And
we're told we're insignificant.
and irrelevant.
We are absolutely the opposite of that.
Isn't that another reason why we're here as well on this panel? Isn't this why, we're learning to be as best as possible a community and growing as friends and, slowly getting to know each other a bit, Isn't that what this is about?
And without going into details, we know how the everything has been filtered out, so to speak, Karen. The dregs have dropped off the end. So, the longer this goes on, the less chance there's going to be infiltration like before. It's just the way it is. You know why? Because those that are on the dark side, they don't like having the light shine on them, and they don't like being associated with the light. It's like roaches, in the cabinet. Turn on the light, they all flee. And, there's been some people on this panel before, without being specific, who shouldn't have been here. And guess what? Through the light, they were exposed, and now they're gone. So another thing when I did the Edge of Truth website, the one thing I think we need to have is no doubt about it, to communicate on there, they need to sign up. And here's the reason. Because you're always going to get somebody like the infiltrators that are going to try to tear it apart. You need to have a way to ban their IP address. That's what you need to ban. Most people, most trolls or whatever, will not go through the problem or the
process.
They won't, thank you. They won't go through the process of going down then to a McDonald's to communicate. So it's a different IP address or whatever. And the methods I had on there, even if it was the first 3 identifiers of the IP address, not the last one, I could actually pretty much get rid of them in that neighborhood. So what was scary too is I could sometimes get it down to within 2 blocks where they were actually located. But that's a lot of power to keep the dark side off, because the light can be shown on those people and you can get rid of them right away. Because that would be the only bad thing, I think, is people trying to trash it. And you would think, why, who would want to trash that? But there's nothing surprises me now after doing YouTube videos for all these years. There's a lot of bad people in society and a lot of people that just want to muck up this, whatever system you're in or whatever you're doing, just to do it. And
do you think
I
some of us have realized we've got to do this together? We're not all the same person. We're all different people. This pulls us all together. We've got to do this together. There are a lot of people out there who don't care about you at all. It's all about them. Whereas people here, it's about everybody. We're trying to do this together. Yes, and you doesn't it show? It shows after a little bit who is really for other people and who's for themselves. It's just, you know, the true colors of every person always comes out.
Yes.
Yep. And you know how it is at night, you can't see colors. Shine the light on it, now you can see the colors. And that's what this panel does.
Yep.
But yeah, it won't take one person, and that's the problem. If it could take one person, I think each one of us would have done it. But it does take a collective of people with the different talents and different ideas and different backgrounds. We're all geniuses when we combine our brains with another person. I'm convinced of that. Whenever I had a solution, when I was a manager and couldn't find a solution, I just call a meeting, say, "Hey guys, here's the problem." Not one time did my people let me down. None of them were geniuses on their own, but we came out with genius ideas. There's an exponential effect of combining brain power that I think has been lost too in society. We're taught to be individualistic in our thinking and whatever, and this is why you get so many trolls and haters on YouTube, because if you're not exactly 100% into their belief system, they want to reject and kick you out. So they fight back with the troll comments and whatever, and the disinformation. So people like that are on this panel, I mean, I don't care if you're a Buddhist and I'm a Christian. You know, that isn't what ties us together here, and it isn't what would tear me apart from it. But these individualistic people.
We're here, Rich. We're here for life.
Exactly.
For life.
And not only that, but you know what?
I mean, not that I'm against any religion, because I'm very religious. Put my teeth back in. I'm very religious. But apart from that, I mean, we're here for life. It's about our life. We're trying to better ourselves. We're trying to improve, trying to learn, or we are learning. Knowledge is power. We need to have knowledge.
You know what I came to, oh, sorry, go ahead, man.
Oh, I was just going to say, and I'll let you go. I was just going to say that's the big difference right there. We want to help others, not just ourselves.
Yeah, man. You're talking about nano stuff. Oh, so go ahead, Karen. Yes.
Totally. That's right. We're here to help each other somehow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yay.
I've been seeing a pattern of. Oh, go ahead, man. Go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna talk about the nano things you were saying, the idea of robot and cyborging, and because I'm teaching dance, all the energies are very zombied. They're all gray, and I was thinking to myself, why every studio, no one has any energy, and it has to be related to that. People are literally becoming robots and zombies, and I'm seeing it in dance classes with every age. Adults, I've seen it in teenagers, I've seen it in babies. Not so bad because they're still kind of trying to figure it out, and it's not as toxic. But there's a pattern, and the phones and constantly being glued, and then you get trolls that are so addicted to the virtual world. So this is the problem with trolls. They're so stuck on the fake world and creating their world through falsehood and not going on the earth and going outside. They're probably lying about what they really do. They spend 24 hours just touching machines, looking at what you're doing, because they forgot why they're here in the first place, is to actually experience nature. I'm only using the internet so that I can meet people like y'all and possibly do some good. I'm not here to, harm someone else's site or to battle. Right. I want to learn from you as well. But then you get people so addicted once again to the robotic, as you were saying, nano, the idea of the robot. You have me thinking like I want to choreograph a piece, where it actually is talking about what you just said. And it's called nanoparticles, or it's called nano. And so after the piece, we can actually talk about it, but in dance form. Who would ever do that, right? And so then it brings dance in a different perspective, and it makes more diverse ways of using art. Art can also be a powerful weapon.
See, that to me, that's brilliant. That's brilliant stuff right there. And
Yeah, man. I get it from here. I mean, this panel provides every week, and I'm grateful. So the fact that we have people, you know, so hooked on just clinging on to these computers.
Jay, listen to yourself, man. You're awesome. But listen to what Rich just said. When people come together, that's the thing. And we were talking about consciousness. We have this group consciousness, and I do. Even if we're on the internet, or Ethernet, it's a group consciousness. It brings us together. You get connections all the time, and all you do.
Oh yes, of course.
I can say a word, and I know you're going to get something or other, and you can go on for 20 minutes or 2 hours.
I'm pretty sure we all there are many nights when we all feel each other on the Hangouts. We just do.
Yes.
Of course. We're very connected. I mean, people who are they're living their life through other people's lives. This is different. They don't have an organic sense of self. So they troll or they jump on other things. They're like the crabs in the barrel, whatever these terms. There's always people that constantly, because they don't have their own understanding of themselves. So it's jealousy. I was just saying it in regards to that. We're very connected, but people that hate aren't. Just so happen to deal with them somehow.
Yes.
That's all I was trying to say. Yeah.
And a lot of those, more than I thought, actually can be turned. There's people that started out haters on my channel for Flat Earth that are now, one of them is a mod. So, you know, over time they can be converted. And I don't do it for myself. I wouldn't do one video for myself. It's always to try to convert one more person. That's what it is, to truth. That's it.
Wake them up.
You know, Karen will agree. Jay will agree. Yudit, Patricia, are you asleep or are you awake? She'll agree as well. Artes, totally. We hardly sleep. I mean, we're either talking on here, discussing things, righting the wrongs, correcting the world, figuring things out, or we're researching, you know. And even now we're like researching in a sense, aren't we? We've got people in the chat room that are giving us clues, and we're bringing topics up, and everything's like, you know, coming to fruition. We need to have, like you said before, this website or something where we can all collectively come together and glean everything that we have.
Yes,
everyone help.
And I think we need to have our own hangout there so that we don't have to worry about Google saying, oh, that image is not good, so we're going to ban you, so you can't have live hangouts anymore. Once you get enough people signed up to the site, you don't need Google. I mean, you can use this to announce, hey, it's going on right now live over here. And you don't have to put any images on the screen. Just have them click on the link and go over. I'd also like to have, in fact, this was a business idea I had. I'm sure it's probably been done already, but when they go there, we can throw out a topic. They can vote on it live. They can communicate with us much easier than you can communicate here. What I hate about here is, unless you're recording the session live, like what everybody's seeing, all these comments are lost. So you can, if somebody's got a great idea and you didn't happen to catch it in the chat, it's gone.
Yeah.
And I'd like to have, where they click now to type in for the chat. I'd like to have it, if they have an idea, have like a little idea icon, they click on that and it goes permanently somewhere so we can see it.
Well, this is just to, sorry, if I see something, I like it, I screen, because I've got my phone beside me. So I take a screenshot, think, oh yeah, good idea. And then I always go back to things and think, oh yeah, awesome, yeah. Websites, because I can't just tap on my phone and go directly to the website. So I need to type it in physically, on something else. But yeah, I agree. We need to have something that you can, like you said, communicate through.
Yeah, it's got to be, and yeah, if it's, I have a marketing background, so that's why I tend to go with this. If you make it interactive, that's where everything is now. Everybody wants to interact live with other people online. If you make it very interactive and colorful, let's put it that way, to interact, people will. And it will grow much faster than if you don't have interaction. It's just the way it is. That's why people are doing more and more live events on YouTube, because people are in now to, everything's instant now. They want the instant gratification of communicating live. And so do we. We want to be able to talk to each other live and as a group. Can you imagine? We could never do this 20 years ago, what we're talking about now. So to me, we've wasted some time. The time's for action now. Karen's done a fantastic job getting us all together, and we should probably take it to the next level. In fact, Karen should probably be the one that is the main arbitrator on the new site or whatever it is, because she does such a that's her talent. She does things like this. I'm sure you have other talents, but as far as the project we're talking about, we should probably call it like Project Life or something, because it's a totally new way of life that we're talking about getting people into.
Can I be spontaneous, please? Spontaneous.
1 minute.
Clap for Karen. Please clap for Karen. Please.
Yes.
Karen, come on, guys. Come on.
Oh.
Yeah, Karen.
Yeah, but that's a clap for every single one of you, because without you, there isn't here. There isn't it's the chat room. It's everybody. We're all here together. Everybody.
Well, to coin a phrase,
without you, there was not this.
Yeah, to coin a phrase, we're all members of the same body.
Love you, Astral.
Yes, like Voltron. Yeah, I mean, even the cartoons are showing shit, and we don't. I don't know.
Yes.
Stuff happening. Yudit, what were you going to say?
People for people.
People for people. That's excellent. I like that.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah, that's great.
Simple.
Yeah, people
I
for
actually,
people.
someone asked me to have a slogan for. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Artez.
No, I was just saying a great thing that you said. People for people. That's very, very good.
Yeah, I think it is too.
I had a slogan for my 1-minute videos and to start a movement called Know Now. Simple, instant, boom. You watch this thing in 1 minute, you get all this information, and your brain's gonna be like, boom. I'm already thinking about like what you're talking about, man. I'm really ready to jump in and help.
I like that idea as well, and also the name Know Now.
Instant no, like your coffee is instant, right? Everything's instant, right? Well, instant information, like boom. Oh, I didn't know that. I can touch this thing, and there it is. This 1 minute presentation for free, amazing. It saved my life, maybe. I don't know, whatever.
When we were younger, I used to at dinner time at school. Like this is back in Manchester now. I used to go to the library. Eat my sandwiches and stuff, and read books, and research things and find out. I was always reading, And that's what I used to do. People used to think,
cool, man.
Where you going? Library, idiot. But they took the piss out of me and all that kind of stuff. I don't care. I really do not care. I love reading.
Isn't it funny?
I love to learn. That's the basic in everyone's. Deep inside you, we love to learn.
Yeah. And they make fun of you when you get wiser. They make fun of you for being wiser, and they make it hard. And that is self-hate. The bullies, for those who like to read and they're called names, man, that's horrible. Like we want to promote that. We want to promote nerd behavior, people who want to look at things and scrutinize it and ask questions and think for themselves. That's cool. Cool is not I get you pregnant when you're 11 or whatever, and then I'm so cool I leave you and I don't want to take care of my children, and then I end up beating people up. It's like, this is not cool. This is not what we're supposed to be. The jock, that whole concept, man. I wanted to sort of be that at one point. It's just like, this job is exhausting and it hurts.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
Caveman mentality is
yeah.
Rid of that.
It's so corny today.
We are much
so
wiser.
corny.
We're much wiser. We are much smarter. Yeah. We're much more sensitive. We've got more empathy. We are open, receptive for ideas, receptive for, vibrations even, If I say to my mum, hey, can you feel the vibes? Can you feel the vibes? You know what? I can look in my mum's eye. I'm pretty sure she'll look at me and say, I can feel the vibes. But I can look at a good friend or whatever and say, hey, can you feel the vibes? You might say, no, are you crazy or what? Hey, where are we? We're not on the same plane, man. And that's where
it's not cool to be smart. It's not cool to be wise. It's not cool. So That has to be undone. That creates the insecurities that I'm seeing in all of my classes. The biggest killer, in my opinion, most powerful job of psychologists, in my opinion, psychology, because they get into yoga, chakras, they get into all that symbolism stuff. They know their symbolism. That and insecurities. Big issues today. There's no self-esteem. There's no, I feel like these young people don't feel the space where they're important so they can speak to you. They're always repressed.
It's a money maker. It's a
you know what you're saying as well is when you call it like wake up. When you wake up, everything you thought was important isn't, and other things are now much more important than the things you thought before. So that's what's happening here as well, isn't it? Everybody's, like you say, you don't want the big telly, you don't want all these things. These things are not important when it's about the people, because it's about saving the people. Isn't this about saving the people?
Exactly. You see, I can say that. So when I graduate from here, okay, I'm not on faculty. I don't have a PhD or whatever. I don't care about my master's. What I care about is my body of work. That's it. I care about when I teach my class, I watch people leave the room laughing, confident. That makes me breathe at night better, knowing that I'm going to go to a better place. I'm doing my work. I'm going into this world, and I'm realizing that, you can use art to help people to function, because it's too many schools that just want people to memorize a bunch of stuff. They're not machines. They're not fax machines, man. They're artists. They're creative. Like, there's not enough imagination and childlike mentality anymore. I try to get people to clap when they're older. They're like, oh, I don't do that anymore. It's like, clap for yourself. When you know what I mean? Bruno Mars comes, you pull your shirt off, you scream, or if it's Taylor Swift and you're pulling your hair out. But if I say clap for yourself, you're like this. And I ask myself, right? It's funny. And I ask them, does that make sense to you? They're like, no. They're like, yeah, I'm fucking awesome. Part of my language. They're like, yeah, I'm awesome. And I'm like, yes, that will set you off for anything in life. That's not even about dance. That's for anything you want. You're in a room where I'm promoting that. That speaks for itself. So it's not like a lot of wasting and, I hate the intellectual, the energy, the talking and guessing. My Lord have mercy, we waste.
Hey, guys, if you can check out the group chat area, I have a question in there for you guys.
Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Don't be afraid to say no if you don't like it, if you think something else is good. I'm for the best of whatever the best is. I've got it in my cart, so all I have to do is click.
I'm all for it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I can't see this.
Yeah, it's in a group chat on the side. You have to click on that blue screen with the white line just above the share screen button.
If he's on the phone, he may not see it, but I'll just...
Stupid iPad.
You have an aside group chat. It is probably somewhere on the buttons also where you can share the screen.
I'm down here. I'm here.
But I'm all for it.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you, Artis. Then we have to get somebody to develop. I'm gonna.
Up in there.
For everybody listening, I can explain what this is in a minute.
We're creating things.
Yeah, out in the ether. Out in the ether.
Out in the ether.
No, I'll have to be patient then. And here, I can't find that.
I think you're going to be okay. What I'm asking is the peopleforpeople.com. Do you want me to grab that?
Yeah, sure.
I say we do this.
Yeah, go for it, Rich.
So.
Okay.
I agree.
Simple.
We make a move.
And it's PFP. PFP, PFP, the PFP. I'll have a song for it. I'll write a song.
PFP, cool. Well, we got it, guys. We got it. It's ours.
Bit of suspension in the chat room there. Someone says the
Hey,
tension is killing me.
Rich, Rich, I just want to say thank you, and can we give Rich a nice big hand of applause, round of applause?
Yay!
Yeah, and thank you, Yudit, for the coming up with the name.
Yes. So we own peopleforpeople.com. That's what it is, the end of suspense.
Yay!
I just wanted to
Bravo.
make sure that no troll went and grabbed it, because they will.
Awesome.
So they can't grab it now.
Hey.
It's been confirmed. I was actually surprised it wasn't taken. That's such a good word name.
Yeah,
Think
man.
about that. 2018 and peopleforpeople.com isn't
Wow.
taken.
Yeah. And Yudit came up with it, so thank
Yeah,
you
it's very
also,
good.
Yudit. Thank you.
Yes.
It's a
Yeah,
new
very
day.
good. That's the genius there. That was a great term.
Not just that, it just shows you that people aren't thinking for the people, though, are they?
You did.
Yeah,
you did.
it says so much, man. It's saying that's not people, government for people. That's the lie we've been told. People for people.
You did.
Yeah.
You did. Can I say something?
Yes, Astral?
Toda Rabalacha. Thank you very much.
Say again in Hebrew. Say again, please.
Toda Rabalacha.
Toda rabba lach.
Toda
Yeah.
Rabalach. Sorry, you're
Yeah.
a female. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
I always get the gender. It's the gender aspect of language.
Yes.
It's even in the words.
Toda Rabalach.
Yeah,
Yes.
nothing belongs to me.
Mashlamech.
It's,
Mashlamech.
yeah, מצוין, תודה.
Anyway,
Fantastic.
Yudit said, and now history's been made. There is a people for people.
Brilliant. People for people.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a lady, she have a channel on YouTube, and I love her very much. And her channel name, Welcome for the People. Welcome for the People. And I take this idea and I move this on, people for the people. Yeah.
Very great.
Yeah,
Makes
hey.
sense. Inspiration. See, inspiration is what creates genius.
We know artists.
Yeah,
is
for
very-
sure. That's a
very-
great thing Jay said. Inspirations indeed create genius. It's all a team effort.
Yes. Saves lives.
Oh, for sure.
We know
And I'm gonna be-
artists is good at art and graphics and things, so I'm pretty sure he could come up with a little logo or something that we could peruse through our
Yes.
ideas, maybe.
Oh, yeah, I already have an idea.
Have you?
Oh, yeah.
Or even people in the chat, maybe, you know? It's a
Well,
don't-
I have
Just don't-
actually an idea for the logo. It's an people holding hands together in some kind of circle.
I have an idea for the logo.
Oh, okay.
It's to take a picture for really people from all over the country, shaking hands and dancing together. Yeah,
Great.
Well,
something.
yeah.
Yeah, really picture.
Yeah,
Hey.
it's a good idea indeed.
Hey guys, I was just invited to be on God Rules channel. I don't know if you know who that is.
No.
He's got, I think, 129,000 subscribers.
Cool.
And as long as the topic is not far off of it, I'll be promoting this either tomorrow or Sunday on his channel.
Fantastic.
Oh, great, man.
That is awesome, man. Wow.
We are following you.
This is how it works, man. Sticking together and having our own ideas. See, politicians do this. The Rothschilds do this in their own way. They've been doing
Yes.
it how long? They've been getting
Yeah,
together
that's
in
right.
room, right? Making
That's
little
right.
documents saying the world's gonna be like, no. That's as simple as it is, too. We never actually get together and say, let's just do it.
Mm.
Yeah, exactly.
Problem with the Rothschilds is that the
Hey, Richard
CFRs,
did just
they
do
were
it.
secretive, weren't they? We don't need to be secretive. We're very, hey,
Yep.
we're so open, man. Come on.
Yeah, everything is going to be.
Rich just did do it. He did it.
Now, does anybody know how to design websites?
Well, I know Wix.com is pretty good. I have my own. I've built my website on that one. It's wix.com. So pretty good.
What I may do is I might set up a just a real quick because it'll be nice to have something there just so people can go and sign up, even if nothing else is there. Just a little blurb of what we're thinking about doing, and then sign up here, and then we'll already have the database when we go live.
Cool.
Sounds good.
We can set up a system too where I'm very good with the behind scenes stuff. Like if we have a contact form where it should go out to everybody, let's say somebody has a question or suicidal, something that needs to be taken care of right away, we can have it so I send out a message either by phone or text or email to whoever could be on call. So little things like that I can set up. I know how to do.
Great.
But I guess probably the next thing to do is yes.
I was just about to say, if there's anyone in the chat that's got special skills, I'm sure that there's we've got like 1 million people in the chat room tonight. No, I'm pretty sure that there's some people in the chat that have got skills. They're available, able to do things that maybe they can contact Karen or you and help out in that sense.
Yeah, I'll put my email out in the chat room.
Yeah, we need people too to probably just us to get rid of the trolls. I'll try to remember what I had before. It was a real easy system. You behind the scenes you see the IP address, and once you ban that, it's not like YouTube. They ain't coming back for anything unless you unban them. So, and you don't have to go to 3 different places to do it.
Good.
You just do one click. Goodbye.
Good.
Getting away from Google, Alphabet, Facebook, all that. That's the key because you're always at their calling, at their bidding. And there's so many things we could share that we can't even share on here because we're worried about getting blocked. All that crap.
Mm-hmm.
What image did they put up that one time, Karen? It was like an old image, wasn't it? Like really old, of a car, electric car or something.
No, it wasn't. It was actually a modern one, like say BMW. It wasn't BMW. It was one of those companies who had Mercedes had made a free energy car, and it got played, and then it got asked to actually, it was banned. They told me to take it off. Basically, well, they didn't tell me that. Something comes up. If I don't take it off, then it'll all go wrong. They blocked the Hangout, so I took it off. Yeah,
and it was an advertisement. That was purposeful. Then nobody ever cares if you're showing their advertisement.
I mean, we don't make money on our channel, so it's not about us making money. In fact, we were promoting it on a Flat Earth channel. That's what we didn't like. It had to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Back in the days, people used to wear T-shirts with a name on. They were paid for that. They were actually paid to wear that T-shirt, go out and wear it. Then it all changed where, you had to pay more money for that T-shirt to wear it, and you're advertising for free for people. But what I don't understand is if you had a T-shirt on with someone's name on, they should be bloody grateful for that advertisement because you're advertising for free in a sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's where Google or YouTube or Facebook, they're just dying because when they start, limiting what people can wear. I mean, you can see it on the TV, even it's all blanked out. What the flat is going on, man?
Oh yeah,
next
time they probably will strike you for an advertising you have on your T-shirt or something.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I've got to drink my beer like this.
Yeah, or with a sack over it, like some people do.
Yeah. Oh. Good
Well,
idea.
everything's politicized today. If it doesn't fit the political agenda of the channel or the YouTube, whatever it is, that's when you get in trouble.
There's too much PC correctness, political
Yes.
correctness, and it's totally a pain in the ass. I mean, that is just, you know what? They can stick their fingers up their ass, pull them apart, and then stick their head up there afterwards.
Exactly.
Damn, Astral, that was angry, man.
Astral!
I was trying to be very tactful and tacit, Hey,
It was
sorry.
intense. I see a lot of tension with the genders too. It's an imbalance with men and women today, very bad. It's like WF wrestling, everyone thinks wrongly the backward thing about, like, my family has the understanding of Trump on the Fox TV version of Trump and the the backstory. So they wanted the other one to win, the woman. And then a lot of people here at university, a lot of girls are bitter about it. And so they look at men differently. It's ridiculous. Like the tension. We have a lot of like gender issues to look at and to get balance with who we are and how diverse gender is. That's a big deal, because if we're not balanced there, we're not going to have the right kinds of connections to create more life and elevate our race. We're always somehow unbalanced. Yeah, from what I see. So I'll leave it open.
No, I agree 100%.
Yeah.
But we're starting to break out from it. Everybody's programmed. We're macro bots.
Yeah, true.
I think it was Mika Brzezinski on NBC News. She said, it's our job to have people think the way we want or whatever. That's paraphrased. But during the election cycle, that's when they really get people divided. And we know the CIA controls the mainstream media. So that's when they get all us macro bots programmed the way they want us to be programmed.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a big fear. Like, I look at how unique humanity is. And I always tell my students this. I'll say, like, I've danced all over the world, Russia, blah, blah, blah. My resume is like this. I said, so who cares? I said, so when I watch you make connections, when I watch you for a moment, okay, maybe you fell out of your turn, but you got it the next time. That moment, I said, you have to reward yourself and say, I'm awesome. Because the thing is, the big thing about celebrities today is that we're giving them energy.
Oh,
Constantly
absolutely.
giving it. That's it. That's
And
power.
they give
Giving.
back.
Yeah. And that's like spending money. It's actually more precious. I want to be like that. And I have to get this thing. And if I don't, and that thing, right? A big cancer today is that, and that insecurity. So very important to get someone to acknowledge, whoa, I did that? Yeah, you. Because once again, we're all bad people. We have to repress our feelings. We can't. Biggest abusive thing, man, the repression. Yeah. So yeah, open, man.
Yeah, that's what it is. We finally gotten to the point where we're sick of it.
Yeah.
It's probably a better way of saying it, but that's what it is. And when you start waking up, that's the great thing about flat Earth. It brings you, it gets that first eye to start really looking at the world in a different way, and you start to realize why. A lot of people say, why would they lie? Well, this is the reason. They turned you into a macro robot.
Yeah.
By making you think that you're insignificant, you have to be politically correct with everything. Don't bump against the system. They know, they have PhD or whatever after their name. And if you don't, you're nobody. You can't think on your own. That's what they're telling you. That's what the commenters say.
You're not allowed to think on your own. You need
That's right.
someone to tell you how to think.
Remember I said it before. It's like we've been put into boot camp. It's just nobody told us.
Yes. Well, one of the trolls said, if you're so sure of yourself, why don't you submit your paperwork to science so that they can, it's like they're missing the point. It's one club and we're not in it. And
exactly, yeah.
That's why the club exists. That's why the papers exist, so that they can reject somebody with real truth.
They just don't get that shit, do they? It's like
No.
you just said, that guy, what was he called? Carlin, wasn't it? It's one
Yes.
club, a member, right?
Yep.
But when he said that, people just don't realize it. They look at it, they laugh and everything. Yeah. they don't get it, man. They're not listening to what he's saying. They're not
Yep.
understanding exactly what he's saying. And
But
when
that's
they
a good thing.
do
More and
realize-
more,
but when
they're
they do
understanding now.
realize it, you know, it's like, wait a minute, yeah, that makes sense. It takes a while, you know.
Yeah, and that's if you're not cognitive dissonant yourself because you don't want to admit you were wrong. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
This whole left, right paradigm with politics and everything, all of that is really teaching us to reject anything that goes against our initial belief system. And that's what I'm hoping this will help break people out of it, people for people.
Oh, it already has. We're already doing it right now. Every time we do these shows, it makes a difference. Absolutely.
Yeah, I believe it does.
Yeah. Oh, I'm very much like this. What we're doing is activism as well. It's actively getting people to at least know and hear things. So this is going to be on another level. This website is just going to be it, like organically focused on just healing. We got this. We got
Do this. Do this. Write on your money. Do this.
Very good.
Wait a minute,
Because
Astral.
someone will pick it up. You know.
Do
what the
it again. Astral,
That's
Sorry.
do
great.
it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Research flat Earth. Yes.
Yeah, also had back in the day those
And on this
stickers you
side,
could
it's,
put
it
on
says,
the Earth is flat. Wake up.
And then people for people.
And you also had that back in the day those stickers you could put on coins
right now,
with
people
some
for
things on it. Actually, you can make stickers. You can actually one side of the coin you're allowed to put a sticker.
Hey, you know what I'm going to do in the initial contact form for people? I'll put on there a place where they can, when they sign up, any ideas or topics that they think they need help with or think we should cover. That way we can cover the whole thing. If you know what I
Yes.
mean. So you might as well start tapping into their talent right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of people out there that have a lot better ideas than I have. And then when we start, you know, of course, we'll have communities on there where they can talk together and things like that. It'd be nice to have little mini hangouts they can do, all kind of little
Yeah.
stuff like that, so they can combine their brain power. We'll have a bunch of, you know, we'll have thousands of geniuses eventually on there working out solutions to get off the government tit, so to speak. Sorry to be so blunt, but that's what it is.
No, it's needed.
Stop the dependency.
Yep.
Exactly. You know, like we were saying before, you know, the more you know, knowledge is power. And the more we know what people need help with or what ideas we can use or, you know, like you're saying, communities and things. Oh, let's come in together, how we can do things. And if people just, you know, hey, I need help with, well, let's take, for example, if someone's got psoriasis or someone's got eczema or if someone's got, you know, I don't know, whatever illness they have or ailment they may, you know, suffer from, where people can say, try this or try this or try this or try this, you know, and ascertain what is, if you understand what I mean, put all.
Oh, yeah. No, I got it.
You know, so they can be directed into some sort of way, like, you know, hey, this is, I don't know. We need to obviously talk about it and figure things out, and people for people.
Yeah, I think once you start seeing the structure of a blank site with just a couple things on there, we'll be able to flesh it out pretty quickly.
And I think it would be good to also have a lot of astrology and mythology, decoding the myths and getting into those stories because they're about us, all about us and the things that we can do. And there's more things that we miss in those stories that could actually give us secrets to what's happening today more. And yeah.
Well, let me throw something out there to clarify, because a lot of people will, with what you just said, red flags will come up with Christianity. The way you are presenting, like astrology and things like that, is secret teachings that aren't necessarily into the occult. Because there's going to be a lot of Christians, me, myself, as soon as I hear astrology, I know what you're coming from, though. You're not coming from, we should have a horoscope reading, and because Saturn's in behind Jupiter, or at least I don't think that's what you're saying. You know, that,
no, I
that's
mean,
gonna
like,
change.
I mean, like Job 38:31 mentioning the Pleiades and Orion in the Bible, man. That's it. Just that's it. I don't break it. I don't even force it down the throat. No, it's just what happens is it's kind of like this. It's like just knowing there are other cultures. Like, for example, we know we have Asians. We know we have this race, that race, but we're all somehow connected, but there's a diverse way of seeing it. I use astrology just to show, hey, that's interesting. There's this there. This constellation's mentioned here. I wonder why. So it gives just another perspective of the stars, because people, that's a part of nature, and they don't like looking at the stars. They hate walking on Earth. I'm not saying they, meaning everyone on the Earth, but the majority of people are so disconnected from the stars in nature that they forget that they are the stars. That's my understanding.
Yeah,
So-
well, I mean, we just had an event in September, the September 23rd sign. And that's definitely from Revelation 12. You know, it talks about the I saw you know, a woman in heaven and whatever. You know, that's all. That's Virgo and all that. So there are reasons to look up for sure. And all the ancient, especially the Hebrews. I mean, that's what they did. They looked up.
Yeah, man, and that's what I mean, and that's great because now you and I are talking about it. I'm not we're working together. I want to make sure that I can provide it in a way where we can work together at it, not like doing it in a way where it would complicate something. Not at all.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm just what I'm doing is I'm speaking for the Christians who will hear the word astrology, and immediately the flag comes up. And,
I got you.
And it should come up because a lot of it is occultic and things like that Christians should not get into. But there are astronomical things.
That's funny though, man,
difference.
because I mean, see, Christianity, man, is one and the same, man, with the stars, man. It really is. It's unfortunate that like it's so divided, man. I mean, I'm just humbly saying this, like, if it's in your verses, if the Pleiades, which is associated with Venus, and morning stars, which in Oxford means Venus, and Lucifer, if they're all related to a star, if we could just get past maybe, all right, I understand there's titles like we have Christianity and we have Jews, we have Islams, we have titles. If we could just get past the title to a point, right, where we can see it as a shining thing in the sky that somehow is related to us, because I have a solar plexus, so I'm walking astrology. Like the sun is in our bodies, right? And there is this little light of mine as a gospel song. I don't think there's a coincidence. So I teach that kind of way of, I like to try to acknowledge organized religions a little bit because I feel like I want to work with that community more because I think there's a lot of misunderstandings. So I'm not trying to force it once again or poke it at you. I just want us to see it as an energy in the sky that provides stories. It provides energy, for God's sake.
Yeah. Now I'm with you there. Well,
you know where I'm going.
Yeah, my background, I am not into
that's it.
Any kind of organized Christianity whatsoever. In fact, I think that's wrong. I think it's a personal relationship, the church is the person itself, not and other people that are like-minded, obviously, but it's not a building, and it's not the Baptists or the Catholics, or it's not to me. I've been through all that. It's you personally, a relationship, and to deny that the stars are in the Bible is just nuts. Abraham planned by the stars, and not in an astrological way, but in an astronomy type of way. There's a distinction that people are going to have dividing astrology from astronomy, and I think as long as that distinction is well laid out, people shouldn't have a problem with it. But there's Christians, strong Christians, who have a problem with the Revelation 12 sign and looking at the stars because they've been so indoctrinated by their preachers that any kind of talk of stars in the sky is bad and evil and from Satan and all that stuff. So I'm just saying you got to walk a little bit of a tiptoe with some of that because some people are like with government, they're still indoctrinated in a system.
But you know what? I have a problem with words. Yeah, I this is where I'm different with etymology. I like to think of it as a way where we can like astronomy and astrology. I know they mean different things, right? They both have astro, like astroturf or astronautilus, or this astro is everywhere. So there seems to be, like you said, gate earlier, like there's these words, gate, they have to always somehow, there's a pattern. There, even in our crazy divided ways of hurting people, they use words that we can make patterns with. So I like to just see patterns like Astral. For me, it's about being connected to things that are above our earth, grounded, but there's a lot of other things happening out in this space that I think we can
I
be
agree with you too.
loved by more. Yeah, totally. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
it.
I'm just the only reason why I bring it up is maybe I'll be the filter for that, for people that might have an issue with it.
That's cool. That works.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with it because I understand where you're coming from. But people, like I said,
Like
even,
if I were to say this, let me try this on you. So if I were to say, like, as a dance teacher, this is what I do, right? So I say, how many points to a star? And they'll say 5, right? And then I say, okay, count on your body, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So then I say to them, when you point your foot, you're pointing as a human what? And they'll say star. That's kind of what this is more the astrology I'm talking about, or the thing to do with star connections with people in it, and not just have it as like some kind of like what you were saying. And I'm not trying to say, oh, that's because this point is there and you have that on that, really. You know, I have my own understandings of it. Does that make sense?
oh yeah, absolutely. And I don't have any issues with what you're explaining or talking about at all because I get it. But some people won't automatically. That's all I'm saying. And,
okay, I got you.
Yeah. So I'm saying we'll need to have a buffer for those people to try to explain it. And some people might not ever get there, and that's just their issue.
Okay. Fair enough.
Is it just me, or are we having internet issues? Jay was a little.
Well, on mine end, it's okay. I can hear you. I can hear everybody perfectly. But...
Yeah, I can hear. There has been a bit of breaking up there every now and again, but I think it's more or less okay. It's not like when James
I've been good.
Just wanted to make sure.
Well, it's basically some small breaking up that is hardly noticeable.
He broke up a little bit then, but my computer's lagging a little bit. Maybe it's mine. Rich, we've been going for 3.5 hours now. Do you think this is a good place to put a pause on it? Because this is only the beginning again.
Yeah. Before I go, I have to go before it's dark, but I have more time, and I worked with Charlie a little differently today. I walked him right up until 15 minutes before we went live. So
I just wanted to check. You want to stay on a little bit?
We're probably okay for another 15 minutes to a half hour.
Cool.
The question that comes to my mind right now is, where do we go? How do we communicate? How we work together for people.
I think initially, like you said, if we have a website, then first point of contact would be to the website, because there's a name. Everyone can relate to that name. And then obviously if we have some sort of a contact list of some sorts on the website, then go from there.
What I mean is live extreme 24/7
live stream.
Channel, like we do that right now. People can roll
live and extreme.
Yes, it's 24/7. It's
live and extreme 24/7. Okay.
And people can roll there what they want, and we can put what people down for people, or the story, and in this value. And it's always in the screen, always.
So you always have the screen up live.
Yeah. And people can write there and say hello to each other and share information, and
Do we know how people do that? Do they use a VPS, some sort of server? Like for trading, for example, for Forex, I can get a virtual private server where I don't have to worry about if my computer goes down, that my trades that I have executing will happen online. Just try to think. I guess that's, never mind. I'm answering my own question as I'm talking. Forget about that. Because the website that I set it up with, they'll be able to host that, I think, 24/7 without me having to have a local program running. Because I want to be able to do it without a local program running. Because if I lose power or I need my computer for something else, it shouldn't go down, or anybody else that's doing this. If you follow what I'm saying there.
Hey, when we're done, I mean, okay, we can talk about it now, but I was just thinking, like, when we're done here, we can talk with each other. I have an what do you call it? A tech, internet, IT. There's a shop up the road. They do computers. They're tech savvy. I can go and chat with them because they do all this kind of shit as well. Like, you know.
Oh, okay, excellent.
And like, I need to take lots and lots of notes, find out exactly what we would require and things, and then find out what they would be able to, you know, do for us, what it might cost or whatever. I don't know, you know, just to find out how things would run, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I posted my email address in the group chat. So if you use that and put in the subject line "people for people," if you're trying to contact me, give me your screen name and your real name if you could.
Yeah.
And but
put that in the chat room then, Rich.
Yeah, I put it in the group chat. It's there.
All right,
And,
that's for us then. That's not to go on the main chat then.
No, I've already put it in the group chat, but it's not in the main chat.
Okay.
Do you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. But if you put that "people for people" in the subject line, because it'll go to junk at first, that'll alert me to take it out of junk.
Yeah.
I should probably set up a separate email. You know what? Let me give you a different email that's better. Much more private, and I hardly get any mail there, so I'll recognize it. In fact, I would recommend this host for anybody here. It's very private. In fact, you can even have emails disappear automatically after a certain period of time.
What's it called?
Proton Mail.
I just heard about that the other day. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I was thinking actually getting it.
Yeah.
Gmail.
Yeah, exactly. This is private; they can't see it, and it's encrypted on both sides. And like I said, if you want something to disappear, you can make all your messages disappear after a certain set time. So if you can say after 2 days, get rid of this message, or 2 hours, whatever, it'll be like the old spy movies. It'll just disappear.
This message self-destructing 3
Yes, exactly. Hillary Clinton should have used that.
What's the name of the place? What's it called?
Rich,
Proton
Harsh
Mail.
Truth, put that in the chat room.
Yeah.
Okay.
That anybody can know about. ProtonMail.com. It's like an online Hotmail or Google, but it's very private. And what I like about it too is I haven't given that email address out to anybody except for people in my family, so I don't get a bunch of junk and things like that.
Okay, thanks for that. Did you see that message I just put
That's
there
excellent
as well?
Yeah, I see that. It's excellent stuff. I just read it. So do you want to talk about that out loud, what you do, Karen?
What, that message I've just put in the chat?
Yes.
Yeah, it's Harsh Truth Engineer. He says that's on the moon. Karen, I teach engineering maths. I could have bits on the website showing people how to prove the curve wrong, etc. Basic stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Yes, you could also provide help to anyone who needs maybe help with if they wanted to do homeschooling.
That's a good idea. That's a fantastic idea there, Rich, right? Let's imagine now, Harsh Truth is in front of a blackboard and people are on a sort of a chat, writing in, I have this problem. This is the problem. Can you help me with it? Maybe, I don't know, he's got 20 or 30 different people that have got problems. And then he can go through each one so that he's not just teaching one person.
Yes.
He's
And you,
20 people, 20 different things.
Yes, and you save it in the archive so it's always there.
That's a great idea. Hey, Harsh, I like that. Good.
See, I could do one on oceanography and meteorology, weather. You know, these are things like for, I guess you're first introduced to that in probably about 4th to 6th grade, somewhere in there. where they try to teach kids weather and things like that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that every one of us, every one of us on this panel can teach a wealth of things. Yudit
Yes.
yoga, Jay's dancing, Artist does graphics and everything. We can all contribute, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I don't know, Jay, if you can teach ballet by internet or not.
There's
You have the
also
whole.
Actually can. That's
See?
It's funny. All summer I was doing these 1-minute videos where I was dancing in my living room, and I was doing all these solos, and I was actually getting a lot of interesting, like a dance company called. I'm sorry.
Great videos, yeah.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I dance to different cultural, so I'll show how like you can do pop locking and ballet moves to Israeli music, East Indian, classical. So I can show people how to actually move in diverse ways in tiny spaces. Totally. Oh yeah, I'm all about it.
break dance. Can you break dance?
Right. Grab your chair and do this.
Can you?
I mean, anything but be still, just active.
Yeah, exactly. I can teach, if anybody's, especially if they're older, I can teach bodybuilding. I used to do that until I had my heart attack. Thank you, Navy, for my whatever. I got a nice picture to show. I mean, I got huge, so I know how to do that. A lot of people pay a lot of money to learn the right methods for bodybuilding.
Cool. Yeah, fitness. I'm all about that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, man. Sorry.
Well, I can tell you.
Also, another thing, there are vegan bodybuilders. I mean, they are. You don't need to eat meat to be big.
No, you don't.
I also put
Look at me.
Jimmy onto the Facebook group. He's one of the members of the Sun and Moon group on Facebook, but he grows microgreens and he showed how to grow them. You just need a window.
Yeah. I'm interested in that.
Yeah. Help.
Well, I could.
He's not into doing live hangouts. He's a little bit shy for that, but he's made me a few little videos. So yeah, it's
you know
just
what?
another way, and in a few minutes it takes to do these things.
I know that this is also really good about injury prevention. It's really important that people know the parts of the body where they harness all their stress. I'm taking a movement study class right now called Laban Studies. This guy went against the Nazis, actually. He choreographed a ballet that said F the Nazis. Anyways, long story short, his technique is all about what parts of your body do you have to breathe and soften and not grip. A lot of folks have lower back pain, core, weak stomach muscles, so their spine isn't being held the right way. And you'd be amazed at how much you can fix yourself just from knowing how to use your sacrum or your pelvis. Really important as well. Yeah, so injury prevention is an important thing. People get all kinds of jarring, neck pain, stuff like that.
It would be a good way to help show people, like maybe to get away from the doctors and start doing these things ourselves.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yes, because I had a millionaire doctor tell me it was over, right? Told me it was over. I will never forget being in Switzerland. I was in the middle, I was dancing perfectly. All of a sudden, my body shut down. You want to know why I shut down? Because my glute was so tight, my left glute, from years of training and jumping higher and being better and getting that principal role and raw, I was so tight from physical duty and not doing things like yoga, where you use strength and breath. Strength, not to go. I didn't know about so my glute was so tight, it was pushing my hip bone out of its socket. And so I was getting arthritis because I was too tight. He couldn't tell me that. Doctors do not know the muscles. They care about cutting you and putting a new muscle in there. Now that can work.
Jay,
That can work.
Jay.
Too much though. Go ahead.
I talked to this is going back many years now, but I talked to my doctor about aspartame, that it's poison and it's not good for you. You get headaches from it. It's not good for you. He's like, what? You get headaches from it? I said, yeah. And if you stop taking anything with aspartame, your headaches will go. Because I was married at the time. My wife was suffering from headaches all the time. I said to her, it's because you're drinking that shit. Stop it.
Yes.
Stopped it, and she stopped having headaches, right? I told my doctor's like, well, hey, I was actually an apprentice carpenter at the time. I wasn't even I wasn't a carpenter, but I was a apprentice carpenter, and I'm telling him, this is not good for you. This is a fucking poison, man. You're a doctor and you don't know. I mean, what? If you've got a doctor and he's old, they do not know shit, because their doctorship was like long time ago when everything was like, oh, this is good, this is good. Hey, I smoke these because these are awesome.
Yeah.
So sad. It's so sad, man. It's so crazy because, you know, the Knights Hospitalators, the Templar Knights created the hospitalators to do this. Basically, come to us and we'll take care of you poor peasants and we'll heal you. The problem is that they're sorcerers. They are real. They put on costumes, they dressery, they take our words, use them against us. So now we're using words, but they're ritualistic, and they harm you if you don't know your words. I mean, it's amazing how much stuff has power that we take for granted. But no more of this. You know, we're here. I'm so motivated now. I'm so happy from this panel that we've done this. Like, it's focused now, you know? Like, we're aiming towards the tumor of ignorance, passion to heal people. People need to be healed, you know? Yeah.
Yes.
I think
we
and
lost
to
him a little bit.
do things differently, hopefully with more people who want to try and do this together, or realize that there's other ways, or thank you very much, Rich, and everybody here. Yay.
Yeah, thank you everybody here for sure.
Yay.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Good stuff.
Thank everybody.
And just let you know, Karen, I got your email already. So
I just want to make sure it was right. Yay.
it is. Yes, it is right. And we'll definitely crank this up. Look for well, I'll let you guys know when I have something on the website other than nothing. I haven't even assigned where it's going to be hosted yet.
It makes you feel better if you feel you can do something, though, doesn't it? I mean,
that's
you're not going to be able to.
You know, really what it's all
overnight, 'cause
about is, to me, the reason why we're here is to help others.
Someone just wrote in the chat
Yeah.
here about water, and that's probably one of the most vital things we need to make certain. Water.
For
I
sure.
already have a solution. Copper containers. Everything plastic, too much plastic, man. So many metals we can be using to help us, for sure.
I hear you breaking up.
Yeah.
It just broke up then, Jay. We didn't hear that.
How much did you miss?
Nothing.
Is it better now?
The last
You can hear
couple
me?
sentences.
Oh, no, I was just saying basically that copper vessels is really good to purify your water.
Yes.
Like, really good to get those right away, because it's actually the easiest fix. It does work. And you don't have to worry as much. You just leave it sitting there and it will convert it, because once again, that's Mother Nature wants you to live. Another good metaphor to realize who we are. Like, we have copper in our bodies, right? So that's who we are. We're beautiful. Nature wants to live. It does. I mean, hence why growth and everything grows from the dirt. Why, right? Like, that's who we are, right? So
yeah, and we just keep fighting that.
Yeah, man. Mind control's done it, though. We have to undo the mind control.
Yes, I agree.
We need to have a kind of a positive mind control, where it's our own minds in a positive way that are controlling our own thoughts, actions.
Yes, I love it. I love what you say now. Yeah. Positive control, yes.
Yes. Right.
Absolutely.
That's called
Yeah.
electric energy.
Because you can feel it getting worse, can't you? Whatever it is, or maybe it's because I don't know. We're waking up every day more and more, and those that wake up are starting to really wake up. Then it just seems worse out there. I mean, look at the things in the news, what they're doing, the shootings, all these things, just every day lying to us more
Well,
and more.
I can tell you that if 20 million people are now following QAnon, there's going to be a lot of people waking up soon.
Imagine how many will be tomorrow, Rich. Because, you know, I've been following it also since, like, you know, November or whatever. It's just getting, you can't go on YouTube anymore without seeing anything about it being mentioned.
Yep.
You can't, or I can't.
There's still those who just think it's just organized deceit, but I'm telling you that you can't divide against yourself and expect to succeed, and that's what if it was a ruse and all that, that's the globalists would be destroying themselves because they're revealing way too many of the evils.
We're too smart.
Wow.
We're figuring it out. You know, I think it's almost like we've caught them up and we're getting ahead of them now because we're much smarter, much more wiser than them in a sense, or it's becoming like that.
Yeah, you know what it is a lot of people, first of all, they don't want to believe that a solution could ever happen. And it's a defeatist attitude that's been put into the masses.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah, it is. But hopefully that'll be changed. You know, people don't lose people have taught to use emotions and not logic in their thinking. And that's where a lot of people have gone wrong.
That's really important because then people like unique people who have a unique way of seeing truth end up getting butchered, you know, by people who don't believe that there's hope, that there are people out there that have a vibration that can make a difference because we all have the potential. You know,
and I
the
think
people who. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, going back to the astrology part of it, us moving into, you know, moving out of what is it? We're moving out of Pisces into Aquarius. That's going into the physical to the spiritual. So it's natural for us to be waking up species right now.
I agree.
Yep.
Yeah, I think a lot of us here as well are empaths as well. And this is a spiritual thing as well. It's not just awakening up. It's not just about wanting it. It's a whole thing.
Who was it that was talking about the M's in your hand?
I've probably mentioned it, but Matt Jerome.
The M?
Yeah.
But I've seen so much about that. I mean, everybody's got them. Everybody. Look at everybody.
Not everybody has them.
We've all got them.
Yeah, some of the people you're meeting here, not everybody has them.
We have.
No, not everybody.
Yeah, we have, but
someone who says
not everybody else has them.
If someone says they haven't got them, look on their hands. You know,
I have. There's somebody in my house that doesn't have them.
Yeah, but
it's an M. Yeah, you're right. It is. But you know what's funny? I also saw that with the McDonald's logo. I saw a body. It was a guy who was big, but it was funny because he was wearing a yellow sweater, and his lats or his sides, his arms were hanging over in the McDonald's M, but it was perfect, and his shoulders were like exactly a symbol of that that sign. It was so. I was like, of course it would be the damn body too. Makes sense. Like to market, it's so genius. But it's like you have to go so deep somehow to find that connection to then repel it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But this wasn't just the M's. It was also low body temperature. Like mine's always about 1 degree lower than the average. And there was like 3 or 4 other things that went with it. And I had all the different, supposedly you're an empath for that. There was enough, it was low body temperature, low blood pressure, I think. I have that too. And I can't remember what the other thing, but it was very fascinating. I thought it was very interesting.
Cold feet.
So are you saying, so wait, I'm having an aha moment maybe. Are you saying that so these patterns make an M shape on our hands, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I'm having an aha moment. Okay, we have Eminem the rapper. We have Mary Magdalene. M&Ms. Magnetic energy. Mag in Sanskrit means to move.
Multi-millionaire.
Hand-
Multi-millionaire.
Manipulate.
Made
The
Marion.
M. Yes. Man, woman. That's really cool that you said that, man, because I'm looking at my hands and you just gave me new eyes.
Yeah.
Like, that's really cool. Like, I never saw it that way.
Uh-huh.
And now we're like, oh, wow. There's something there, man. That's cool. I don't know. I just wanted to share.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't come up with it. It was Matt Jerome came up with it. But I thought it was fascinating.
Whoever, I'm grateful because, I mean, for symbolism, I'm like, I got another thing in my conscious chamber now.
Yeah.
Hey,
Well, there's
I'm a
other
big-
things. Go ahead.
I'm a big fan of Matt Jerome. I love, I'm an artist. I like to draw. I like to create, and I like to, do things. And I stumbled across him quite a while back, and funnily enough, he hops up on Sun and Moon Group as well. But all it's about is vibrations and the colors and the patterns and the symbolism, and everything is like, interconnected. And the things that I was thinking about at the same time were connected with the things that he was thinking about. Everything almost seems to be interrelated. It's all coming together, For every day that goes by, everything seems to tie in with something else. It's like, oh yeah, that fits just nicely to that. Oh, and that just fits nicely to that. Everything just seems to fit nicely together with everything else,
Yes.
We're getting rid of all the shit. We're getting rid of all the crap. We're getting rid of all the junk. And all that's left behind is all this like essence of goodness and greatness. And, it's like, this is our awakening. This is what I'm pretty sure of, because it seems to be that, I don't know, since a good 6-7 years or whatever, I've been feeling that things are getting more and more progressive in a state of, it's like synchronicities. I'm seeing them all over, in words, in languages, in pictures, symbols, on Hangouts,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you this is a little bit can you teach how to draw people how to draw? This is a personal thing. I can't
Oh,
draw
yeah,
worth anything.
Yeah, no problem.
Wow, I'd love to have a class.
Hey, I'm there, man.
All right.
Cool.
This is I'm gonna put that on People for People.
Yeah.
Great.
I'm already designing a logo, so it's almost finished.
Oh, awesome. Yeah,
Oh,
send it to
wow.
my when you get it, send it to my email address if you would, Artis.
Well, if you wait a little bit, maybe in the after hangout, I can show you.
Okay. You have any color schemes in mind?
That's what I want to discuss. So
Okay.
so I don't use specific colors that, you know what I'm going with direction.
Maybe
Okay.
we could change the colors. Maybe we could change the colors like every 3 months or something. Or
That could be done in this one easily.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just to let you
I
know
was
as well,
thinking-
and Matt Tyrone's coming on Tuesday, by the way, next week. He's going to come
Okay,
on. Sun and-
cool.
Yeah. I'd like to say
Carry on.
something about the M. M, it's W actually, upside down.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
And
Yeah, woman and man.
And W, it's double V. Double V and W, it's W. It's the bad you and the good you.
Yes.
W. So yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Bam. That's what I'm talking about. That's electricity.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm gonna
It's
share
in the
this
head.
really quickly. This
Could I
is
just
cool.
ask quickly, Rich, did you put your email address out in the chat room?
No,
Should
only in
send you a-
only in the group chat,
Okay.
which means how can I hide? I'm going to hide it because I'm about to share the screen. I don't want it to be seen.
I sent you my male and my female.
Okay. There we go. Here we go. Just to show you that other people talk about this. Check this out.
Oh, wow.
Wow, that's cool.
So I haven't read it, but it's
That is
davidwolf.com.
cool. That's awesome. What a great find. Oh, I'm so excited. I love you all. That is so cool.
I'm going to put the link in the chat room.
That is so cool. That has to be the coolest thing I think I've seen in a long time, honestly. Like really, like
Okay.
all my finds. No, really? Thank you, man. That's a cool find, brother.
Yeah.
Hey, look. Can you see my hand?
Yeah.
Yep, I see it.
But it's right here.
There's, look, it's an M. Clearly.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Look.
Who in the chat
That's-
room's got M's on their hands? We've asked this every now and again, but how many of you have got M's on your hands? You might have to close your palms just a little bit, to, crunch your hands a little bit to see them.
But I have seen people that don't have it. It's maybe not many, but I've seen it.
Definitely a pattern, though.
Rich, they have a good heart. The people who doesn't have the M.
Oh, that's very interesting because that's a very the person I'm speaking about is a very not emotional, but she's into that type of thing. A very emotional type of person as far as like love and things like that.
Yeah. I put the logo in the back chat. It's just the first draft.
It's upside down.
It doesn't have to be upside down.
I don't see nothing.
Hey, Karen, how do you get the chat back once you exit off the screen, or can you?
If you go to your Gmail account and have a look on the left-hand side, you'll see that you're in a Hangout, and then you press that, and then it'll open up a box, and then you'll be back in.
Well, I'm in the Hangout, but what I did was the group chat panel on the right side where I put the email address. I got rid of that so I could share screens. How do I get that back?
Can you see this? If you press on this, when you see it. Oh, it's on the. Is it on the left-hand side of the actual Hangout? There's a box there. Unless you just saw me write that.
Oh, hold on. Yes, there you go. Thank you, Karen. I'm back. I got it back. Thank you.
Actually, you thought that the logo was upside down. Actually, it is also a helping hand to pull somebody up who's down.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Yes. How do we phrase that?
That's why I put it in that way.
Are you feeling down?
Yeah, well, it's actually when somebody falls down and you try to lift them up, you grab their hand often in that fashion. That's why I did it.
And my category, man, is no now. Put that up in there. No now. This is a boom. You come to it, boom. Right away, you're gonna get, oh wow, energy. Now is the time.
It's just a first draft that drawing I put in the back there, so we can always change it around a bit.
I put the link in both our chat and the regular chat for the M on your hand information.
Okay.
All right, got it, man. Thanks.
You got it.
Oh, is that to go in the chat then, that one then, Rich?
It's in both.
It could also be two tetrahedrons too. Pyramids, fire. Wow. That means that our hands have a lot of power. Whoa.
Oh, yeah. I think there's probably nothing more except for our mouth that has more power.
I agree.
That's why I feel tingling when I meditate. I'll get Shakti, these things in my thumbs, and I got my palm. It doesn't always happen, but it's moments where I'm connected to something and I feel in the hands, man. It's pretty cool. It makes sense now why that is.
Cool. Hey, I'm going to have to go
man.
because I'm running out of daylight here. Especially if you want to hang out a little bit afterwards. I got a little bit of time.
Yeah, well, we've been going for 4 hours as well. So that's quite a long time on a Hangout. Everybody starts to feel a bit fidgety and tired, don't they?
Yeah, I'm fidgety myself.
Long.
Oh, well, We're going to
I
end the
thought-
hangout now. Thank you so much, Yudit, Astral, Jay, Patricia, Artist, and of course, Rich. Thank you so much. So anything
Well
you
done,
want to
guys.
say?
Thank
Hey,
you,
well
Karen.
done by you guys. Thank you for all your input. Appreciate it.
Thank you,
And
Karen.
thank you so much.
You, Rich.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, chat room. Thank you, everybody in the chat room. And mwah, Rich.
It's great.
That was a public.
Can I send you off with a song? Can I send Rich off with a song? Can I sing him a little melody? Is that okay?
Sure, yes.
Go for it.
People for people. This is people for people. No more evil. People for people.
Very good. Awesome.
Yay!
Don't forget, clap for yourself.
There's the jingle.
There you go.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I want to ask Jay sing a song and he sing for us. Yeah, great.
Yay!
You are psychic. You knew.
Before we go, you have one other thing to say, don't you? Come on, on the count of 3.
On the count of 3, I'm gonna do it in French.
Duh.
Deux. Trois. We
Ah.
Dancer.
dancers. That was good. Very good.
When you said then we're going to take it in French, I thought you were going to say like we are dancers in French, and I was like, some words I know in French.
That'll be the next.
Do not speak French.
Anyway,
That's a hard one. That's a hard one.
thanks very much again. Big flat earth to everybody on the panel, everybody in the chat room. Mwah!
Yeah, love to the chat room.
Thank you, chat room.
Thank you, guys.
Much love, chat room.
No, from us.
Yes, there was very good people in the chat room today.
Thank you, Karen.
Yay.
Being the
Thank you.
with everything.
Chat room is the chi of our Tai Chi. The chat room is the chi. You are all the chi of our life force. Yeah, same word.
Yay. Anyway, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye.